talk
live
about ghost
stage.
stories, and they'll talk about, you know, what you're going to see. True paranormal investigator, I can never tell you that you're actually going to see a ghost, but you'll learn about the history and what sightings have been done. This tour is going to have plenty of walking spots that we're going to take, but we will have resting stops along the way. Anyone that's born and raised in Springfield, I know. No, you weren't. You were
I was in Colorado.
Yeah, born and raised. All right, so you'll probably end up knowing most of the places we go. Hopefully, I'll have some details that you didn't know about. That's the whole experience and the point of it. Okay, so the point where we're at tonight is the inn at 8:35. Now, out in the lobby, I don't know if you saw it, but there's a picture of a Miss Belle Miller. Now, back in the turn of the century, 1890, is when she started her floral business. And when she started it, she was only 20 years old. She was a young, successful businesswoman, and she was with the high society of Springfield. Now, this woman was very determined in what she did, and she had a very big passion for her business. She grew it so much, in fact, that in the area that we're at is called Aristocrat Hill. These are where your elites, these were your politicians. And believe it or not, Illinois was still corrupt back then as it is now. No, that's hard to believe, but it's a fact. She grew her business so much that she actually had multiple greenhouses in this very same area, and it took up an entire city block. Well, her passion, she wanted to expand beyond that, and her dream was to have a luxurious apartment complex. You're inside that dream. She got it started with an architect, very famous in the area, George Hummel. He designed it, came up with it, and by December of 1909, created one of Springfield's premier residences. Now, these were luxury apartments. They ran the entire length on each side. Now, unfortunately, this is still a functioning inn, so I can't just go up and kick people out of their rooms.
Damn it.
But you would see that this building itself spared no expense. Even today, even though they renovated it, they still kept that charm. You see the fireplaces when you were in the other rooms, and we'll take a walk in there so you can see it now. Now, of course, they didn't have jacuzzis back then. Lord knows they probably wanted to. Who doesn't want it now? But these same rooms, if you go up there, I believe it's over 19 different rooms, but a couple of them are your big luxury rooms. So they actually have separate bedrooms. They have bathrooms. There's one that even has a double jacuzzi. I'm trying to get the wife to let me have that room for free for once, and just kind of chill for a while. Now, the other things that she came in was her tapestry, her curtains. Spared no expense on those. The artwork that you'll see that is carved into the wood going up the banister, that was all done by hand. Now, the stories that you'll hear from anybody that'll tell you any different paranormal teams, a lot of them don't come in here, so you guys are actually in the retreat that you're inside. Most of the groups just walk by and they tell their stories. Now, here in a minute, I'll bring up the general manager, and she can tell you some of the stories that took place here. But those other groups will talk about a welcoming presence, because Miss Bell was always just that type. She always wanted to take care of her guests. She always just wanted to lend that helping hand. She wasn't just successful and rich and kind of snobby, which I'm not going to classify most rich people. Let me get there and then I can decide for myself. But she was very down to earth, but she likes to play little tricks on the staff. So before we get into those stories, I'll bring up someone with firsthand account. She is the lovely, talented, gorgeous general manager of the inn at 835. And I have to say that by contract, or she null and void to my marriage. General manager Kathy.
See if I can turn my camera around. So
They were just giving you claps.
No, y'all didn't hear that little. Okay, never mind. This bell's already starting.
yeah, real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're good. I've always put this thing out and never stood behind it. So how are y'all? Good, awesome. So I have been new to general manager. I've been the director now for 3 years here. Just got upgraded to general manager of the hotel and Cons Catering. So thanks for coming. Little history. Have you gone through history?
Briefly.
Okay. So in 1890, this is Springfield's first luxury apartments. Miss Bell, which her house is right behind our conservatory, and when y'all start your little walk, I'll give you a little tour of it. We can't go inside because there is guests. We have a full house tonight. So, but she was, Miss Bell was a socialite in Springfield, never married, no kids, and she was a florist. And then she opened up Springfield's first luxury apartments, and it was operational until the mid 80s. After that, abandoned. The Cons purchased it in 95, stayed on property quite a few years while rehabbing it and opening it up as a boutique hotel. And as a boutique hotel, I had to do some research. Kind of like, what is a boutique hotel? And it is kind of designed for certain people in mind. So like if you're, if we're close to trails, we cater to walkers and stuff like that. Here you get wine and cheese from 5 to 7. We deliver chocolate chip cookies to your doorstep, complimentary breakfast in the morning, which our chef is amazing and cooks everything. Like she can even poach an egg, and that is beyond me. And then checkout is 12 o'clock. We have 13 rooms, 11 in this building, and in Miss Bell's house, we have 2 additional rooms, and then short-term apartments also. So very big property, not including the conservatory that houses, I think we can hold 300 people in there. And then this space is considered the parlor that we use for smaller events. Some little first-hand tricks from Miss Bell. So when I first started, I started here as a server, and I'd help out in breakfast kitchen. Now, breakfast kitchen is going to be about where this room is right here, but on the other side. And I come in at 6 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's here but guests, and the guests are on the 2nd and 3rd floor. So I come in the breakfast kitchen, and I make my big old circle, just turning on lights, putting coffee out, grabbing ice, going back to the breakfast kitchen. And somebody is dinging the bell at the front desk. And I'm like, it is 6 o'clock in the morning. Go to bed. Because overnight we do not have innkeepers here. The first innkeeper doesn't come in until 8 o'clock in the morning. So call me on the phone, but nobody's at the front desk. And they keep on dinging it. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I stop what I'm doing. I go to the front desk, and they're not there. And I'm like, seriously? You rang that bell all this time, and you're not there. And so I go back to the breakfast kitchen, and it rings again. And I'm like, oh, no. So I run up there. I'm like, I'm catching you and finding out what you want. And I turn, there's no bell on the desk at all. And I'm like, so then I run to the kitchen, and I close the door, and I'm like, nope, I'm not coming out until 8 o'clock. You're not catching me anymore. And so that was the first little trick that she did. She's really known, like, you'll be here and it'll be quiet, and then you just hear a little voice say, hello, hello. And no, we're not helloing. I was in the conservatory, and I see somebody walk down the hallway, and those doors to the conservatory are loud. Like, you're going to hear that, especially if you're the only one down there. And I'll see the shadow walk by, and the doors never open or close. And there's nothing down there in that hallway. It's a straight shot. You're going either in my room or outside. And that's happened a couple of times. That was when it was time to go home really fast. Another story is, again, I was here by myself. I don't do breakfast anymore. I'm done. But the whole time, again, I'm making my circles, and I always hear a woman humming a tune. And, we have speakers in every room. So I'm like, maybe they left the radio on. And so I'm turning off the radio. It's in the next room. So I'm turning down. But it's always in the next room. And so I get to the front lobby, and, the staircase is right there, and you can hear. So I'm like, maybe somebody's just blaring their TV. But it's not in the lobby. So I go to the next room, and which is these rooms. And we don't have music on usually unless we have an event. And it's always in the next room. And I make my way all the way around, none of the speakers on, but she's humming the whole way. So that was pretty creepy too. That was another one, get back in that breakfast kitchen and shut the door. Those are all my accounts. that she's personally played with me. We'll hear keys jingle, the little hellos and whispers, catching glimpses of shadows, but nothing worrisome at all. And whenever something or we hear something, we're like, "Hi, Miss Bell," and then it stops. So it's very nice in nature. So I think that's all I have. I was really not.
Yes.
Didn't like Lex get locked out?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Lex's story. It wasn't mine. We were coming back from catering because we do a lot of off-time events too, and our door is right under this balcony, and we're unloading this van the whole night, and then I think it's like probably our last trip. She goes out to grab something, and the door locks her out. So she has to go all the way around the building. She goes in the side door, goes back to that door. It's unlocked. And she was like, "No, not right now, Miss Bell." And then we finished getting the rest of the stuff and left. So yeah, it's just little pranks, little "I'm still here." She used to like to take my clock off my wall. I no longer hang up the clock, so she can't do that to me no more. You think of anything else, Lex? Ari? No. Okay. So yeah, that's a little tidbit history.
Some of the others, and I'd already talked to Nick about this, when I looked up on guests leaving reviews. Back in those times, Miss Bell was very passionate about hard candies. So some guests will say that when they're sitting alone, they can hear a candy dish being removed and replaced. There's no candy dish. Books that are on shelves that are tightly packed will be on the table, almost like laying it out for you to read and then putting them up. One other story, but I couldn't find anything else on this, so I don't know if it was just a guest leaving a review and wanting to stir something, but it came up to wallpaper coming loose. And then the next morning, it was fixed, but yet no one recalls who fixed it. But that just fits in with the story of Miss Bell always still working, looking after her property. This was her dream. She loved it. And even in death, she won't leave it, which you grow a business and you're as successful as her, I'd probably do the same thing. But if you guys are ready, we'll step outside and take a tour of the outside of the buildings.
See if I can fix this to where my camera, so I can hold it. Let's see.
Actually, we'll go this way first. I'll kind of show you an idea of the layout of how it was when it was a park.
There we go. So I don't have to hold it like.
And for those who missed the picture, you can see what Miss Bell looked like.
All right. So now we're going outside. Beautiful place. Beautiful.
That room, right there on the left. Yep, I'll tell you exactly what it looks like. So this would have been the entrance into the apartment building, and all last week are real. One thing with hospitality is we are preserving history in hospitality, so a lot of it is natural, original work. Karen will tell you, there's a picture in the newspaper article, and she goes, "What you don't see is me on the floors scrubbing and peeling off all this thing." But they have a picture for her husband on the ladder finally. He's like, "No, I was over there, that's my life." So above the doors, you'll see B and A. So this is apartment B, apartment A. You go through the front door of the apartment here. This is the living room. And I wish I could say all of them. Like I said, 5 to 7 wine and cheese. This would have been the wall and a closet, so this would have been a bedroom. This would have been another bedroom. And then through here in the hallway.
Wrong finger. Yeah, so check on that piece of cheese. Leave me alone, Sage.
And then now we serve breakfast from 8 to 9:30 in here. Like I said, Chef created it and she's amazing. So if y'all ever do stay, highly recommend it.
I guess that's the kitchen area.
One of the other stories is you get on the elevator
Uh-huh.
and you'll end up on a floor that you didn't select.
Oh, really? That's trippy as shit.
And they just got stuck on the handicap elevator for a couple hours.
Oh.
And it had been maintained and was perfectly fine, so can't explain that one.
Sounds like she's a bit of a prankster.
Gee, that's a little fun.
She's a bit of a prankster. She realized I was like she's a ghost, and she's like, I'm gonna have fun with this. And what the hell?
Yeah.
Who turned that off?
Who turned the light off in here?
Turn the light off.
That's gotta be Miss Bell.
Yeah, somebody turned a light off.
I couldn't find a light switch. What?
The lights are out.
Come on.
Where's the light switch?
Somebody turned the light switch off.
Yeah, somebody turned the light switch off.
Okay,
Not
this
that switch.
room about fall and bust my shit.
No, I'm gonna grab this and I'll hold it. And then you'll make me fall.
And next goes walk. Jason's gonna be like, my friend Tyler died here now. He's just hanging out with a spell.
Hey, did you turn the light off on us?
Maybe. I don't know. No, I turned them on. That's why they're on.
They turned off.
Somebody turned off right when we were walking in there.
So yeah, we had to stop so we could see going down the steps.
We
Surprise!
couldn't find out how to turn it back on.
There we go. But they're all the way up, so let's turn them back down. Yeah.
And you're upstairs.
The ice machine one is different, so.
Cause I tried.
Ms.
So I
Bell,
switched
say
right there and I was like, trying to-
5 stars. 5 stars instantly for me. 5 stars. 5 stars. Got my ghost moment. And we were broadcasting it too, so. There's a dining parlor room. That's a big ass table. I'll take that in my dang garage.
It was a nice little tour. Still figure out how to get down the stairs.
So this is Belle Miller's original house. It's now 2 guest rooms. Both of them, again, double jacuzzis, fireplace in one of them. And then that tall brick building right there is our suite hotel. And then we just have like little garden ceremonies out there, cocktail parties, whatever you like. But this is her original house. This was added on, I believe, in 2005. So I'm glad she's already playing with y'all though.
Weird, that never happened.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Wherever you picked the, like, I don't know if it
was it you or?
It's through to a
was
couple
Lance
people.
or you that got stuck with the handicap lady? Okay.
But the thing with the elevator, you know, we'll push it to go to 2 and then we'll go down to the basement. Or we'll push it to go to the basement. Or we won't push it because we'll just be like, you know, not even thinking. And the next thing you know, you're in the basement. And you didn't even push the button to go there. So it likes to play those little games on you too. Yeah, it's like catering kitchen. But yeah, I won't talk about the other elevator because there's privacy reasons. But it was a rough day that day.
Okay, now
I
I'm
don't think that was
curious,
meant
but
though. I
okay.
just think
I'll be quiet.
just God hated me that day. So
All right, we ready to continue on?
Yeah.
all right, well, I'll see y'all when y'all get back. I'm not walking. I pulled my sciatic nerve and I have a wedding tomorrow, so I better save my steps.
Don't worry. Don't do it.
I like the shirt.
So we were literally walking down to this back area here, and the light fixture shut off, and nobody shut it off. That's pretty fucking cool. If you guys are having trouble hearing or anything like that, let me know. I'll move closer. Yeah, with the wind picking up and all that shit, it feels like it's trying to sprinkle. And oh god, I'm over.
You'll notice the original houses that are still standing. Aristocrat Hill, like I said, was your politicians, your elite. I don't know, your friends with Diddy that got every break. That's a bad joke.
Hey, no ditties, no ditties.
I didn't bring the baby oil.
Who the hell keeps 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Honestly. Oh, they think it's a sex drug or something. He puts the lotion on. Oh, well, apparently, I guess I'm the only one in here. Nope. They're in chat. Okay, that's why. Sage, Bubba, you still there? Or?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just making sure. Just, if it starts to sound bad or choppy, let me know. I'll try and readjust.
Oh yeah, chat. You can get involved. You guys could talk.
Yeah, chat, get involved. Ask questions. I'll ask Jay, and he'll let you know. He'll fill you in.
Those cars need to slow the fuck down a little bit.
No shit.
Remember, they are having the Route 66 Feather Road Festival parade tonight.
That is tonight, isn't it? Dude, how do I afford buying some of these houses to live in? Oh, that's a cathedral. Never mind. I can't live there. Well, you know, maybe I could buy a church. Just live in it. Say what? I still didn't hear you.
Church for sale in Peoria.
What kind of church?
It's just like basically they gutted out the whole thing and made like a big restaurant thing out of it.
You guys are broadcasting from the church? Boy, I'd be going to hell for sure.
So I see one Kluge. Is there no second Kluge there?
Well, no, Jay took off because he's got to run the kids tonight. We're stuck with Bigfoot here.
That's not very nice, Amanda.
It's going to be part of the tour. Be okay.
No, that's fine. I signed the waiver.
The question is, did Susan sign a waiver? She did fuck her ankle up last year.
No, but we brought up.
Yeah, let's not break my ankle again like last time.
What's the let's not break my ankle? Like it was anybody's fault but hers? Come on.
Yeah, you broke your ankle. I had a freaking pterodactyl shit on me.
Oh, it was because you were wearing a Cardinals hat.
Shut up, Sage. Freaking bird was like, "It's a bombing run. Let's go."
Sage didn't
It's
say
Phoenix
that.
Center.
Oh, I said you were wearing a fucking Cardinals hat. So
Cardinals hat, yeah.
shit right on that thing.
Of course they'd shit on that.
Cardinals got beat by the Rockies.
Wait a minute. How is Julie saying there's no sound on YouTube? That's weird.
I will check.
Yeah, check for me, would you? It's weird. All right, here's the next step.
All right. This here is the Legacy Theater. This is
Yes,
one of
there's
the most
sound on
iconic
YouTube.
buildings in Springfield. Yes. The Springfield Actors Guild has been here. The big story that you'll hear about this place is a guy named Joe. Joe had he built.
There's lights on in there, apparently.
Yeah, last year there wasn't lights on.
Yeah, there wasn't. Oh!
Oh. It's interesting. All right. In 1955, Joe had the leading role, and this was something he built up. And again, love to portray it. Unfortunately for Joe, he had actually been doing some embezzling. I know that's hard to believe in Springfield, but again, the indictment was coming down, and Joe knew that he was caught. So instead of just taking his punishment, getting arrested, Joe committed suicide. Now, when I looked it up, I couldn't tell if it was here. I couldn't get that part of the records, but there is a Joe, and he did commit suicide. That is a fact. However, Joe loved acting so much that he has not left here. So there's always times where pranks are going on. If you put your purse down, it comes up missing. All of a sudden, you'll find it later on, but in a different part of the building that you absolutely weren't in part of. Curtains will go up, down, stagehands, things will move, just like if a show was going on, but yet nothing's taking place. I love that this place is still active and still being used. Now, unfortunately, there are other paranormal groups that will go around and they told so many stories and you'll hear them out, especially you being from Springfield. I'm sure you've heard a ton. Okay, so you got some first-hand accounts. That's great. Anytime I come across stories, I want to know the facts. I want to look them up. And if I can't find the research on it, I'll mention it, but I'll also mention that I can't find the evidence of it. And unfortunately, there are a lot of real good paranormal groups out there, but there are bad ones at the same time.
Zach Bagans. Oh, sorry. I just got over COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan of Zach. I do like Nick. Nick Roth was all right. I've come across so many stories of here, and one of them is about a demonic presence that attacks people and leaves 12 marks of 30. However, I go and I research that. Can't find anything on it. So, again, be careful what you do. I like to debunk things just that way I know that it's true. I also think if you're in a paranormal group, you should always try to debunk something. Because if you can't debunk it, like the padlock that got thrown at us in Havana,
Oh, shit.
then you're on to something.
That still trips me out to this day.
Yes, it does. And when you have video footage to prove where everyone's at, and you can't tell how that damn thing got thrown, I don't run from many things, but I wanted to run from that. I did.
And then went back a year later and something swung at you.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Sam.
This wasn't going to be on our stop tonight, but since we got a smaller crowd and people checking out from the weather, we had time to run over here. So I'm sorry I don't have all the other details with me. I don't want to ramble on about a bunch of things that I found that I couldn't verify. So, but if you have any stories that you would like to share right now, we have the time. Please,
I don't have personal stories like that. The second thing my guy, the owner of the building, had shared stories with me. My friends have done shows here. Another made reference to Joe and several friends. Had any of my theater friends tell me about that?
everything that I heard about Joe, even though he did something illegal, everything that I heard was he wasn't a bad guy. He just got caught up in some bullshit. It happens. None of us are saints. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But money was tight in different situations. And trying to freak people out.
That was just me, I swear.
Okay.
I promise.
But everything that I heard is he loves to have pranks. He's an actor. Every actor is either a little bit strange or pull your leg. All right, you guys ready to go next door?
Can I just ask a quick question real quick?
Yes.
How many of you guys here have actually been ghost hunting, like in an actual location? Raise your hand.
What's ghost?
Like you actually go into a location. I'm out, y'all. Y'all have a good one. You all be good.
Get back here, Sasquatch.
I'm all for that.
I'm down. I'm down.
Tyler and I are part of a paranormal society that actually would go wrestling for a cure. Everyone here knows about wrestling for a cure, but
All right. We literally would do any and everything to raise money. And it started off as just doing like mineral springs, which unfortunately, if any of you love to investigate mineral springs, at the end of October of this year, there will be no more investigations.
Why the hell not?
A new owner is taking over and they are stopping investigations.
Son of a bitch.
Mineral Springs.
That's a
I almost
moneymaker
got
for them.
pushed
I don't know if
downstairs.
they're wanting to renovate the whole thing and actually make it a working hotel or a bed and breakfast. But yeah, that's one of the big hard-nosed facts that the paranormal society is pretty pissed off about.
Yeah, a lot of people admit.
There's always Ashmore. I know that Ashmore gets you guys tripped up because y'all had some real strong things that happened there. We started that night with what, 14, 15 people? Yeah. The next morning it was my wife, myself, and a fellow Marine. I'm not saying people checked about you. Wasn't it?
Yeah, like we were staying in the cottage that had the
John Wayne
John Wayne Gacy's lawyer's couch. And I was laying on the bed. We were laying on the bed like right next to it. And I woke up in the middle of the night and just couldn't catch my breath. I was feeling like I was choking. I'd sit there and drink water, nothing. As soon as we pulled off the property, it's gone.
Same thing happened to Tosh. They were having some issues. As soon as they got off property, they were fine. Yeah. So Ashmore Estates is a great one. I've been to the Myrtle Plantation in Louisiana. If you ever get the opportunity, it is well worth it. It is expensive.
We have a friend of ours who watches the show. He's trying to get us to go down to Myrtle.
That'd be cool.
It cost us $380 for a room for a night.
But it's beautiful.
But you literally step back and talk. It is way away from light pollution of the city. When it goes dark, the old Spanish moss and the trees that are down there, you can't see your hand in front of your face. And the rooms that they replicated and cabins that they built are replicated slave quarters. So they got all the amenities that you need, the AC, shower, and all that. But when you're standing outside, that's what you're seeing is those roads. And you're literally, the only thing that's missing is the 300 acres on the back of it where they have their fields. But it is, there's moments where you get good feelings, and there's some moments at the quartermaster. Obviously, that he was a dick for the job that he had and being slaves, but very evil presence over in that area. I tended to stay away from that. But we'll move on to our next stop on the tour here. Any questions?
So
Hey,
yeah,
Tyler.
something. Yo, Sage.
In 2016, one of the founding legacy members did die in that building.
Oh, hey,
And
Jay. In 2016, one of the founding members of the legacy died in that building.
It was Jason Goodrow.
Jason Goodrow. Oh, he didn't die in that building. No. I'm just going. I got an earpiece in. I'm listening to the other guys on my show.
It said he died suddenly in the middle of a house production of Legally Blonde.
All right. Well, he's saying it's not correct. So I'm guessing he must have been. What? How do you know that, sir?
Jason was one of my mentors.
He was one of your mentors. Okay.
Jason killed himself in St. Louis.
Okay. So he killed himself in St. Louis. So sorry about that.
No worries.
So there you go.
Fact check.
Fact checking. Yep. That's what you got to do.
Well, it just said here in this article that he died during the production of Legally Blonde.
I'm going to guess the article's probably wrong, more than likely. Which happens. It sadly happens. There's a lot of that disinformation and all that shit that happens. Even happens this day, you know? So, man, that sucks. I love Mineral Springs. That was one of my favorite places to ghost hunt at. It sucks they're shut down.
That could piss off a lot of ghosts if they're renovating that shit.
Oh, dude, I would love to be in there. I'd love to renovate that place. I don't care. I got a GoPro. Shit.
Fucking Troy Taylor was the guy that did the review about Joe dying there. And we know we
Also
can't
Troy.
fucking trust Troy Taylor for shit.
Well, he's a big expert in the area, but experts still get it wrong every once in a while. He probably got his facts mixed up, was all. Yeah, I remember he bounces all over Illinois in the mid-state areas, just getting information about ghosts, haunted locations, stuff like that. He probably got it mixed up. It happens. So, by the way, has any of the oil rig guys popped in the chat?
I've not seen any of them yet.
Well, so I know I got an email the other day. I got an email yesterday. They were getting off and they were shutting the rig down because of the hurricane. So maybe they're home. I don't know.
Dutch was probably still there hanging on with one hook like this.
Dutch was hanging on one hook. How much will I bet he just lives on that rig? That's all he probably does. Probably just lives on it. He's like, this is where I live. I don't care. Cops can't get me here or whatever. All right, so now we're going to our next location here, and I know this one very well, but we'll let Jay talk about this one. That's just amazing that they had so many people drop out of this tonight because of the rain, because of the weather. It's beautiful out. You're fine. I see Bubba asked in the chat. I bet Will it's cold as hell. No, it's actually pretty nice out. I'm actually sweating back here. Are you being good?
Uh-huh.
Don't you fall.
I'm looking down until you.
That's it. If I hear a thump, I'm
It'll
leaving
be your
you.
fault.
I'll say the ghost tripped you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's why you broke your ankle last year. The ghost tripped you. Yep. All right, here's our next stop. Hi.
I don't know you.
All right. So everyone should be able to recognize the house that's behind you.
Dana Thomas house.
Dana Thomas house. Now, again, another socialite that is big. Her father had a fortune in mines in Colorado.
What?
Oh, no. You're right. Add that here.
Her father made his fortune, a part of it, with mines in Colorado. And that's how they have their money. Now, Dana ended up using Frank Lloyd Wright, and this is one of his finest prairie houses, and one of the originals that's still standing today. Now, forgive me. Like I said, I like to be accurate. Unlike most of the Wright's projects that involve a complete restructuring of an existing house, so he didn't get the option of just building from scratch. She actually had a home that he had to go off of it. Honestly, when you look at the designs, when you're looking at the I understand that records may not be exact, but how he got this out of going off of that, the guy was absolutely a genius. I think it would have been better just to bulldoze it to start. But this property is not just the property that you see. It was actually expanded larger. Back then, especially for your aristocrats, you didn't really have houses on top of houses like you do right now that you see. These were all torn down and the neighborhood rebuilt and the land sold off. You'll learn about that when we get to the hotel. That one will really show you how Springfield has changed. Now, inside this house, one of the things that I love most, excuse me, is that it does have 35 rooms on multiple levels, but 100 original pieces of furniture designed by them. Over 450 pieces of art glass that is still together. That is what is remarkable about this house, that it's still standing. Not only did it survive over years, but so much worse. I appreciate you.
Tiny Petus. Tiny Petus.
Yeah, it could have been worse. So when it later on got sold, and we'll get into that,
they still kept it. Even though it became commercial property at that point, they still took care of it. Inside in their dining room, their murals, that is the woodwork that goes on all four walls, is the last surviving mural of Women's rights action project. So if you get the chance to tour the Dana Thomas, take advantage. You are seeing things that no longer exist anywhere else because people didn't realize and appreciate what they had at the time. Now, one of the features in here, I don't know if anyone's a big fan of bowling, but bowling lane was actually put in for that.
I was going to ask, where's her husband at? Her
He's
husband.
not at bowling tonight. He's running kids.
Now, Dana, even though she was a socialite, she came from money. What's one of the problems as you get older and you're not careful with your finances? Scams, robs, but you start putting in your money and you're not getting any return. Now, Dana, she didn't have necessarily a job to bring in income. She was very active socially. She was actually a real big advocate for women's rights, and she fought for women's equal rights. She had actually gotten so good at it that she was actually named the chairwoman for the state of Illinois for the Women's National Party. Now, as time goes on and she's working on those, that really doesn't pay a lot. So she started getting into financial trouble. Later on in life, by 1928, she was actually in such financial ruin that she closed the main house and ended up living on a cottage on property. Later on, she ended up having to sell it, and she had her Joe Biden now. Dementia. Don't start. Just a joke. Now, by the 1940s, the Thomas came in, they bought the house, and they took over, and Dana lived out her life. But I tried to tell of going from wealth to mismanagement to growth. Now, it is said with that, and because of losing two husbands and the death of family members, it is rumored that she still loves his hearts. Maybe once you pass, you want to go back to that glorious life and remember what you did. I don't know if I was pissed poor, I probably want to go back to the next man I once lived. Trick is still not no pissed poor, but nowadays that's a little bit harder to do. All right. Any questions? No, we can't break into the house. I would love to paramount this place, but
Dude, all I gotta do is just say the word. I'll go grab my gear. It's 30 minutes away.
yeah, but the state and the national registry, historical registry, doesn't really like that.
We'll just say we're ghosts. We'll just paint ourselves white.
Yeah, no.
Because we already brought Sasquatch. I deserve that. I deserve that.
Next time it'll be your head.
All right, no more Sasquatch jokes. Tonight, at least.
Oh, it's the missing link.
There's a light on inside? Yeah, there is. She's in the living room.
I want a nightcap.
Go before you run into something.
No, I'm letting everybody else go because I'm recording here and I don't think everyone wants to be on. So, Sage, I almost started laughing at that shit, the missing link comment, because I thought fucking lost it. She was gonna whoop my ass.
Yeti, missing link.
Yeah, that's a beautiful fucking house there. There's a light on.
Snow woman.
A beautiful house. Dana Thomas State Historical Site. So I wonder, because I've tried.
There we go. I just did it.
Well, don't do it. She almost broke her ankle. You're right, Ellen. It is a gorgeous house. It's very much a gorgeous house. See, my problem is there's so many haunted properties around here. It's like I've tried. You can't. It's an open field right there. You can't even get in because we tried getting in the Legacy Theater. No, we can't do that. No. We don't want that. That's the hardest part about trying to like ghost hunt some of these buildings. It's like there's worried you're gonna mess with something or whatnot. So, you guys still hearing us? Good and all that?
Oh yeah. Except for when that wind
Oh, we're
blows.
about to have wreck. Nope. I thought we were gonna have a wreck there for a minute. I was like, oh shit, this podcast just became property of an accident.
Was that goddamn street light just talking?
Yeah, it's got the little speaker on it, so it's a walk. Yeah, so for those of you just tuning in, we're doing the Ghost Walk, sponsored by Wrestling for a Cure, and we're hitting all the major locations. We've done the Legacy Theater, Thomas House, the Inn on 855. The next stop is the Capitol Building, I believe. I think we're down that way. This is Springfield, Illinois.
The big question is, are you going to yell at anything at Pritzker's Mansion?
Are we close to Pritzker's? I'll tell you what, if the right donation is $20, I'll go yell whatever they say they want me to yell.
I was just wondering. I mean, I know what you did last year.
I'll fucking do it again, boys. I say, if a donation's made $20, I'll go yell at it again. You know what's interesting about Springfield, though, is like this downtown area, you know, like Jason was talking, you have houses built on top of houses, like right there. The big thing is you see that every once in a while, like right here. Then you come to about here, there's nothing. Shit, I love it.
Isn't that Pritzker's wall right there?
I think that's Pritzker's wall right here, yeah. Yeah, I think it's the governor's mansion right here.
Oh, shit.
All right, I'll go ahead and say right now, if anybody wants to make a donation to Wrestling for a Cure, I'm gonna step in dog shit. If anybody wants to make a donation to Wrestling for a Cure, I'll say whatever you want me to say right at the mansion. Right here.
Yeah, you are.
We do have the Battle of the Podcast and the chat room championship going on right now. Vince Galloway is still in the lead. We just had more disaster sign up for the
flip off the governor's mansion.
I'm being serious. If somebody makes a $20 donation, I will say whatever you want me to say right at the governor's mansion. Ooh. Oh, Mustang. Oh, that's Camaro.
You should talk about how haunted the governor's mansion is since it's empty. It ain't got no toilets.
Haunted by all the hopes and dreams of many Illinoisans. Almost face planted a sign there. I guess we're not hitting the governor's mansion right now. We'll probably hit on the way back. Let's see. I guess we're going down to shit. My phone's at 40%. I got my phone cable all hooked up and everything. Dammer. Let me try this. Turn the brightness down. Clear all my damn notifications. Yeah, that should do it. And I'm blowing my shit. So if you guys lose me, it's not because we're almost at the hour mark. I'll probably broadcast a little bit longer, at least until the phone dies. This is a junky ass 10-year-old Android phone. I gotta get a new one. So if you guys lose me, if I just randomly stop, that's why. We're trying to stay with it for as long as we can. So yeah, a lot of history here, in Central Illinois, a lot of history here in Springfield. Can you imagine doing one of these ghost walks?
Can't believe you're in between buildings and we're still getting that much wind.
It's windier than April saying, hey, you're a good podcast person. I'm not. All right, I'm just naming it. I keep thinking I'm hearing somebody behind us. What the fuck? All right, so I guess we're coming over to stop here. Just a
You're being followed by the ghost of our taxes.
So it looks like we're coming up on the Hoagland right now with less brightness. I'm going to just turn the brightness almost all the way down. There we go. Yeah, I see everybody's in the chat rooms making fun of me saying, what the hell, you got that brightness up so high? Motherfucker, I'm blind almost.
Almost?
Almost. Hey, you.
Sounds like.
How is this not freezing out there?
Microbrewery and eatery.
That was scary.
Damn, we just saw the ghost of Squidward.
Not fucking Squidward, stop it. I'm talking to them on the show.
What'd you say? Stop it.
They call me Squidward again. Really?
Talk to you later, babe.
Seriously, I've seen it. Shut up, Kermit.
What about Kermit?
I'm reading the chat room.
That was nice, guys. Appreciate you talking to us.
He's trying to. He's like, okay, so
Let's see. I think I know where we're at now. Yeah, I think I know where we're at. Nice little Mustang park right over there.
I see a lot of nice cars down there.
There's been a couple I've seen drive by because they're doing the Route 66 parade because that's this weekend, right?
That's going on now, or was.
Well, the car show's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Right, but the parade's tonight.
Right. And my headset's at 10%. Son of a bitch. All right.
Behind you, it's a little bit nicer. Now, on this corner lot right here was that house where obviously most house up to 20. But over 150 years ago, you had Obed Lewis and Bedelia Isles that got married. Now, they had 3 kids by the name
Put your cord back. I got it.
there are 3 kids that actually became real the Lincolns. Obviously, Lincoln's home is just over there, and they grew up together. Now, like I said, this was 150 years ago, and
the family passed down the home from generation to generation in the 1930s when the house was sold from the family. Now, enter, this is where we're going to get back to the Kahns. Their great-great-grandson, Court Kahn, bought the property to give it back into the family. And his wife, Karen, decided that they wanted to make Springfield's first downtown microbrewery. Unfortunately, over the years, when the home was sold in the 1930s, it had become office space, had been renovated, changed up, redone, rebuilt, and the love and the charm that the house once had was no longer. They tried to think of every way that they could to try to save it and make their dream a reality, but comes the next part. What my wife said earlier about hospitality, preserving history through hospitality. So what comes in is there is another Lincoln area home that was several blocks away that was on the verge of being demolished. So the Kahns decided that they would save it. So they took their dream of renovating the family home and they bulldozed it and made the lot available. And with the help of the city, Springfield Clinic, the Heritage Foundation, and expert home movers, they took
There's a lot of people over there partying tonight.
Yeah, there are.
the Isaac home, Isaac Lindsay house.
I don't think it's rated.
Moved
Kid.
it to that location. And they were going to try to start their new dream of making their microbrewery. Well, you can see that house is not bad, but it wasn't going to fit a microbrewery and eatery that they wanted to do. So what they did is they actually bought a Booth Crankendale-like house. And this is where their dream comes.
That house there.
So the situation becomes a little bit better because they were able to salvage the Isaac house, turn it into the 7th Street Cider. Now, the building that is actually between the two buildings is the old carriage house of the original Lewis. That was built in 1900. That still stands. That's where they'll actually make their meads and their beer. And inside the Booth home, that has become their microbrewery and eatery. So by tearing down their family property that they wanted to keep, in 2011, they created these 3 buildings that they were managed to save and breathe new life into it. So now new memories and maybe another 150 years the tour will be done and they'll talk about how these were saved by something else. Don't know. But all I know is going over there for a drink, hanging out, good times instead of letting it crumble and remembering our past is a lot better than a lot of deteriorating buildings just sitting empty and decay.
Oh,
That was
Barracuda.
dire.
Plus, they got a great deal on a cider tree. Comes out, you get all these different ciders you can pick from. If you ever got the chance, I would recommend it highly. I'm not saying to overdrink, but it's definitely a party.
Overdrink.
Any questions?
When can I have a drink?
Sage is asking a question on the show. He wants to know, when can he have a drink?
Well, if he was on the tour, he'd be having a drink. Which they do have a restroom if you need to go. I would go now. Otherwise, it'll be a minute, but we'll be over to the Mineral, thinking about Mineral Springs and Ghost Hunt.
I'm heartbroken about that too.
We would be over at the Vinegar Hill Mall where we get to use the restroom and drinks if we want or anything like that. Is everybody good?
Go now or forever hold your pee.
Yep. All right.
What?
You can drink.
If I drink, yeah, but I don't drink as much. At least you can smoke weed. I can't.
No, I can't because it makes me sick.
At least you can do cocaine, and I can't.
Disgusting.
See, where's Skeletor at? He'd be going off on this shit.
Dude, quit whining. Jeez.
All right, so everybody can still hear me pretty good, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to change headsets real quick. Yeah, next time we do something like this, I need to make sure I have not only a new camera, new phone, but new headset or microphone as well.
Just haven't turned it on.
I got to turn on.
You should have asked Kluge if you could use his wireless from last year.
Oh, I should have. You're right. Well, I don't know if he ever got that working.
I'm looking at getting microphones that go Bluetooth to your phone or tablet
Jesus!
for things like this.
God dang, the wind blows almost
Yeah,
as
that
good
wind
as
is
Tyler.
whooping my ass. All right, so right now we're getting ready to head over to the Lincoln home. We did a couple places there. Now it's at the hour mark. I'll stay with the stream as long as possible. If I start to get at 15%, I'll leave the stream and turn the show over to the real stars, Bubba and Sage,
Real
so they can
stars.
have
That's
their
great.
show. You are the stars. Shut up.
I just think that's a little funny. It's a little bit funny.
Did you all see that? Was that a Chevelle that drove by, or was that a Malibu?
That purple car?
Yeah.
That was a Barracuda.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. It didn't look like a Barracuda.
Oh, it was either Barracuda or Hemicuda, one or the other.
It was either Barracuda or what?
A Hemicuda.
A Hemicuda.
But it was definitely a Cuda.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch later. See what it was.
It could have been a Duster. It could have been a Duster too.
Well, who knows? All I know is it was beautiful.
Or Red Runner or Super B or
It definitely wasn't a Super B.
Nah, it wasn't a Super B. Didn't have the right rear end. All right, here's our next stop.
$1 million question. Does anyone know who's home?
My house.
Lincoln's.
Your house.
It's Lincoln's house.
That was the answer I was looking for. Yes, this is Lincoln's home. Now, Lincoln, before he was in Springfield,
I already said that.
where he had many jobs, postman, surveyor, owned the stores. Well, he moved to Springfield in 1837, and luckily that he met people like Todd at Mary Todd's sister's house. Ironically, later on, that's where they would get married. A few years later,
Mary
after
Todd.
having one son, Lincoln, when he started his political career, that's why he moved to Springfield, bought this home. This is actually the only home that Mary and Lincoln actually owned. Other places that they stayed when they had their first son, Robert, they would rent. Now, at this point, how many people, before we go any further, thinks that Mary Todd had a great life? She was married to a president. Had family. She was from a wealthy family in Kentucky. Had money. The sad reality is Mary Todd may have looked like she had a great life, but that woman was on a level that many people don't. If you're from Springfield, you kind of get the advantage of learning about the Lincolns growing up. Inside this home, 3 of the 4 Lincoln boys were born. Unfortunately, Eddie died in this home as well at 3 years, 11 months. Now, back then, when you passed away, you heard the old traditions. They didn't want your soul to get trapped in mirrors. They would cover up in mirrors. Well, they would also have your funeral at the home. You had funeral homes, but they weren't that big. Most of the time, you would gather with your family. You know, let's face it, money back then, the definition of dirt floor for, well, this obviously wasn't the neighborhood for it, but it was legit. So after they had the funeral, Eddie's body was taken over to Hutchinson Cemetery. Knew you would know this one. That one you'll learn a little bit later. That has caused a lot of the ghost stories that you actually hear from random people throughout downtown. Hutchinson Cemetery is no longer. They didn't move all the bodies. Matter of fact, they built a damn high school. Yeah. One of them still haunts that school in the downtown area. Now, living in here, he got elected to the House of Representatives in 1856, and then, of course, got elected to president in 1860. Now, the training people, which they left of, a lot of people get the story wrong. They say the old Union Station was
president. You know, that train station was not there when Lincoln got elected president. Those train people was actually this way. When Lincoln left, he never returned back to Springfield to his home alive, though they say his spirit. Okay, that's not real. Sorry, the cop was coming over here with his lights on. One of the things that I love growing up here is this neighborhood. The fact that the state took care of it and maintained it. It does have historical value of it. But the story that I was always told growing up is one of the things Lincoln loved to do when he was stressed out. And let's be honest, being a president of a young nation, let alone one that was going through the turmoil building up to the Civil War, not just at the time of the Civil War, but leading up to it, is even before then, Lincoln being a lawyer, anytime he got stressed, he loved to take walks. We didn't have TVs that we can go to, phones to bury our face into. So the story that you'll hear from a lot of people is they will see Lincoln still walking these streets to clear his mind. As a young kid, I swore that I saw it, but I was also young enough. I can't say 100% that it was. It could have been an actor because it was during a school event. But in my heart and soul, I felt it was Lincoln. Maybe, maybe not. Now, once Lincoln and the family gets to the White House, Mary Todd still doesn't have a great situation. Yes, her husband is the president. Yes, they have money. But Willie ends up catching a disease and dies. Now, they said that some experts will say that they believe it was cancerous. Some say it was typhoid. Only problem is you're never really going to know. Everyone's going to have theories. Everyone likes to second guess and so-called be an expert. Now, at this point, she has lost 2 sons. And then what happens after Lincoln gets reelected and the North wins the Civil War and ends slavery? It should be a high time, right? They go to Ford's Theater to see Our American Cousin. Unfortunately, Booth thought that he could actually turn the tide and the South could win if he could assassinate the president. What idiots actually think that ever turns anything? We still deal with that crap today. Politicians' fault, they all argue, but the fact is, Mary not only has now lost 2 sons, her husband was murdered right in front of her.
Yep.
Of course, this will send anybody into a depression. She was suffering from severe depression, and some even go as far as to say she was bipolar, which after everything she's been through, is to say that she did. Her son Robert even wrote to the new president to allow his mom to stay in the White House while she was still grieving. You know, every time she starts to get over something, another tragedy in her life happens. Well, after this is done, they actually didn't have any type of a payment for widows of presidents. Lincoln was gone and left her with an estate of around $80,000. It's like $1.5 million, which, if financed right, you should still be all right. But we all know that Mary had a little issue with finances. So as she's going on in life, she goes to Europe with her last remaining, not last remaining son. Robert was off doing his own thing, and by all accounts, Robert Lincoln was actually a very successful man. He served in the war. He became a lawyer. If he, on his own, if any of us had lived his life, we would be considered a high success. But when your dad is Abraham Lincoln, that's a hell of a shadow if you can't get out. And a lot of people don't realize how successful he was. Well, as Mary's off with her youngest son, Tad, they come back from Europe. And what happens to them?
Roberts.
Out of her 4 sons, only Robert makes it to maturity. At this point, it is said that she starts going into hallucinations. She starts going into hysterias. She's feeling that she's being followed. And the truth is, maybe she is. Maybe there is an evil, maybe there's a curse. But it had gotten so bad that her last remaining son had her committed to Belleville here in Illinois, a mental hospital. Now, this was a little bit more upscale, but Still, an asylum? People handle grief in different ways. I've never lost a child, so I can't say that I know how I'd react. I have a pretty good idea that I would probably lose my shit, to be honest. But this woman lost 3, lost her husband. Well, she still had friends in high places and was managed to get a letter out and convince her doctor that she was fine. She had gotten out. Well, Mary went back to living with her sister and her family. And once she passed, the stories are that Mary is still looking for her family. Some people have been here and they say they can hear her dress. Because back in that style, you had your big baggy dresses. They can hear it rustling. They could smell lavender, which was her favorite perfume. Now, have I ever seen her? No. I've heard people that said that they have. But her spirit is also rumored to walk the tomb, that she's looking for her family. Now, you'd ask, why would she be wandering the tomb looking for her family? Lincoln's there. 3 or 4 sons. Oh, that's right. Robert's not. Robert, his dying wish when he knew his time was coming, he wanted to be buried with his family. No priests. However, Robert's wife knew the importance of legacy. And she didn't want that to happen. It wasn't that she was disrespecting his final wish. She wanted the world to know that he did have his own legacy. So he's buried at Arlington National Cemetery. And that's part of the reason that some people still believe that Mary's tormented, because her family is still not together. Now, brings us back to Lincoln's home. Did you know that in here, when they renovated this, and they brought it back to 1860, the handrail in here is actually the original handrail.
Yep.
So when you take a tour of this, you are actually touching something that Lincoln himself touched. Now, in 1890, Robert did return, and he made a deal with the state. Now, there are 2 different stories that I heard. One is that he donated the house to the state. The other was he sold it to the state for $1 on the conditions that the state met a certain aspect that he wanted. One, they had to maintain the house and keep it in great shape. If you're giving me the house for free or even for $1, deal. Second condition, it always had to be free. Anybody that wanted to enjoy Lincoln's legacy should be allowed, no matter the status, the religion, the race, none of that matters. They should all be able to partake. So the state agreed. So there are free tours of this every day. However, this is what I told you might like about this, and it represents Illinois. The parking will cost you money. Nobody said anything that they couldn't charge the parking. So that's the trick that comes in. Any questions?
Another cool fact about Lincoln, he was also a pro wrestler.
What's that? Yes.
I got another fact about Lincoln. He also used to be very big in the wrestling.
Yes, he was. He was a big wrestler.
He wrestled in the U.S. and he wrestled in Russia for a while, apparently, is what they just found out recently. He had a little stint in Russia for about 6 months.
I didn't know about the wrestling.
Didn't he wrestle Andre the
But I
Giant?
would think that dude would be good in the fight.
Oh, yeah. Big, tall guy like that? Shit. Another thing, too, if you don't mind me adding on to this, people say Lincoln also haunts the White House. People have said it 1,000 times. They see Lincoln, but look, you had so many people at that White House that lived there, stayed there. Your chances are somebody's going to haunt it. Winston Churchill, right before he died, visited the U.S. This is shortly after World War II. Everybody knows Churchill. He was a big drunkard. He smoked cigars, but he also kept. Yeah. Churchill lived a very extravagant life. And one thing Churchill liked to do is when he'd get out of the shower, he wouldn't put no towel on. He'd do the whole air drying thing. So you can imagine 60-year-old man smoking a cigar and drinking brandy on the front balcony of the White House in the nude. Nobody wants to see
And
that. Well,
he stayed in the Lincoln bedroom, didn't he?
Churchill stayed in the Lincoln bedroom. That's right. The guys on my show are talking. Churchill stayed in the Lincoln bedroom one day. And he was doing this. And he walked out, and sure enough, plain as day, he looked over, and there's Lincoln standing in the corner looking at him. Churchill never believed in ghosts, never even.
He did after that.
He did after that because the first thing he says to the ghost is, "Oh, you have to forgive me, Mr. President. You caught me in a very ostentatious time. Let me put a towel on." Goes to put a towel on, turns around, Lincoln's gone. So Lincoln saw
I'd be
that, and he's
gone
probably like,
too.
"Oh, hell no. No. It ain't what I want to see. Huh, no."
I freed the slaves for this.
If Lincoln makes himself known as this would be in the White House, it's a sign that something tragedy is coming. That is another aspect of it.
Yes.
And kind of like the whole Mothman prophecy. You hear about the Mothman, you see him, it's because something's coming.
Oh fuck!
Now,
Don't get me started on the Mothman.
one of the things that Mary, this goes into the paranormal, after the tragedies that she faced, she got real big in the seances. They even had seances inside the White House, but they kept this quiet.
Yep.
They didn't want people to think this is part of the reason they thought she was going nuts. But back then, that didn't happen. It was considered witchcraft. And how many have seen the photo with Mary and the ghostly image of Lincoln standing behind her with her hand on it? All right.
Oh fuck yeah!
So that
I
was a
remember
big
that.
thing because Mary would start spending money and all these people would come out of the woodwork. One of the things that we learned about that photo. It was fake.
It was faked.
So this is where the whole craziness comes in. These are people scamming you. The paranormal's not real. There's no such thing as ghosts. But you go through that tragedy that woman went through, and you would believe too. You want to hang on to those memories of your loved ones. And this is why when people talk about Mary and they say she had a great life, I tell them to do the research because I feel bad for the woman. Because, yeah, she may have been high society, but that woman had one tormented past.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any questions before we move on to our next one?
So we're at the hour mark. Can we cut the feed on this or
You
keep
can
going?
keep going.
All right. So there you go. We're going to keep going until my phone dies.
All right.
There you go.
Watch out.
Yeah, watch
Oh,
that
I'm
curb.
holding your hand.
Oh, while I was doing my research, there's a little fun fact that I found out, and I didn't know about it. We all know that there was always street sweepers, old people pushing cars, brooms, and all that. But I also learned that in neighborhoods such as this, your leftover food, instead of just letting it go to waste, they would actually dump it along your boards here. And they would bring out hogs to clean up the streets.
I bet the streets smell good then.
Yeah. Who would clean up the hog shit afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if they did like a haunted neighborhood for Halloween.
Yeah. Well, honey, I don't understand why it smells like shit. There's so much lettuce we threw out. Where'd the pigs go? There's a Lincoln Library right up there. Man, it really is hell out here. Yep. Well, so you see they're doing a little construction, renovating. We're over here at one of the oldest parts of town. It's where Lincoln lived. So still here, they got the little Route 66 parade. Sound like there's people still driving around. There's Saputo's over there. Man, I thought it'd be a little colder and rainy like Gibbons is saying, but it's not. I love it. It's perfect. A perfect night.
Just need to calm
I'm
that wind down.
inside and I'm freezing.
How are you freezing? I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt and a jacket, and I'm sweating like Mary
Like, I
Todd in the
literally
White
have
House.
a comforter on me.
Take the comforter off. Shit.
No, I'm cold.
Well, how are you cold?
I am.
Not you. heck are you? What the hell kind of statue is that? They're bats too. That was what? Oh yeah, that's my luck. We go on a ghost walk. I get shit on by a bat.
Oh, I would
How
love.
is that good luck on a ghost hunt? Bat shitting me out. I'll give you that one. That's a good one.
That's what I was thinking.
Tyler the Backwater.
It's a nice little square body over there.
Tell me this is a one of them.
Looks like we're walking past some of the cars too. Check these out, boys. You've never been in the actual Capitol? It's all right.
I've never been in Lincoln Town. Never been there.
Yeah.
I've been to the one in New Salem. That's about it.
Ooh, that smell.
I just want to point this out.
That's a Chevelle.
Chevelle,
Hell yes.
Camaro.
That's a nice Trans Am.
That's a Pontiac. There's a Trans Am right there.
Love that TA.
And I throw an extra back.
Firebird.
Jeep over there. It says Hulk on the side. Another
Smokey
Firebird.
the Bandit 1 and 2 was on yesterday on TV.
Oh yeah, that's a Trans Am. I thought maybe it was a Firebird. No, that's a Trans Am.
No, that's a TA.
The red one was a Firebird.
Yep. See, that is a station wagon.
Oh, very
Look at this. Look at this.
Fucking Mach 2.
Yeah, I think it is.
There's Tyler's car, the little one.
No, there's my car right there. I think that's actually the same year. He's got the T-top. He's got the T-top version.
Yeah, my aunt had a black one with T-tops. She used to let me borrow it.
Hey, check it out. I found Tyler Cooley's first car right over there.
Oh, Jesus.
That's literally, are you serious? I didn't even think that was a real car.
Is that another Impala?
I think it is. We got more coming up on the next street. Check that out.
It's either Firebird or Camaro.
I'm going to say Camaro. No, it's Camaro.
That's oh.
Got some more over there.
Oh,
I can buy one of those for Sage.
Look at that Mopar.
Look at that Challenger over there. Look at that Challenger and that bronze Trans Am. Daddy had fun with those boys. All right, so next we're heading to, I believe, the Capitol building. If you're just tuning in, we are.
First, you're going to stop by Obed and Isaac's.
Oh, yeah, we are, aren't we?
Now, other than the obvious dumbass answer that I know you're going to say.
What's that?
Does anyone know the importance of this building? If you say the Illinois Commerce Commission, I'll kick you right in the dick.
What?
What you got? Yes, it is. Look at you. All right, this building was built between 1864 and 1860. Well,
Oh, the Leland
this
building.
was
Okay.
High Society Leland Hotel. Now, unfortunately, there's an event that we're going to come up and talk about later where it burned down and it was rebuilt. But in the time being when it was built, it cost $320,000 to build. So that just gives you an idea of that time frame how luxury this was. Now, one of the big things about it is it was owned by the Leland family. Now, how many people recognize the name Leland? All right. Why do you recognize the name?
Leland Grove.
See, he's cheating. He's from here. Leland Grove was a 600-ish acre farm massive. And the family built this hotel, and everything that come out of that kitchen come from that farm. Matter of fact, if you go into Washington Park, they had a summer kitchen that was built outside of their house. And it got moved into Washington Park once the property got sold, and the current owner bulldozed everything. Whatever. It's history. Fortunately. But you had all your dignitaries, your higher ups, your socialites, they would come to this hotel. Now, Leland Hotel did not discriminate. They were actually one of the few hotels in Springfield that would also cater to Black residents. This is important for when we get to the next event, or a couple of events away. Now, the head chef in 1928, Joe Shaweska, is the one that created the lovely horseshoe, which is truly I can't even say central Illinois, Springfield. You get too far out of Springfield, and a lot of people don't even know what a horseshoe is. Matter of fact, when you describe it, they say it's nasty and it sounds repulsive. But if we're from here, we all love it. Most of us.
Fucking right.
I just had to put you on the spot. Just to do it.
We had the other night. I hate them.
See how defensive she got real quick?
Oh yeah. Denier.
Lies and lies. Now, one of the
Not American.
In around 1890, there's a group. You may know what I'm talking about. The rest of you may not. But it was called the Lincoln Guard of Honor. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe. All right. So after Lincoln's body was inside the tomb, before it got reinforced with the deep concrete, there were some counterfeiters who had some of their leaders get captured. And they had this crazy idea that they were going to get them released. How do you get them released from prison? Well, you kidnap Lincoln's body, of course.
Oh, yeah, this is the Lincoln body plot. Okay.
So they the word had gotten out because one of them liked to drink a little much and started telling everyone about their master plan. And of course, you had some detectives that foiled that and was able to keep Lincoln's body from being stolen. So inside Oak Ridge Cemetery at Lincoln's tomb, there is a bullet hole that was fixed when they redid the tomb, so that way they could protect Lincoln's body.
Yep.
What people don't know is there for a while, Lincoln's body was actually buried in the backside in regular dirt for a little bit. A disrespectful, but a protect. Who's going to believe it? And the Lincoln Honor Guard actually took pieces of debris and threw it over his grave to even make it look like nothing was there, in case someone came along. Robert Lincoln had actually heard about this group and had actually brought it up and honored them for defending and protecting his father's body. But what the Leland Hotel did is for that group, they gave them free boarding. So they got to stay here for free. Now, it also helps that your head guy that did it, by the name of Colonel Norvis Bates Wiggins, was actually the general manager of the hotel. So that also helped.
What was his name again?
Yeah, no, I know what you're thinking.
Chief
I know.
Wiggins
I'm literally
from
asking what his name was. I didn't hear it.
Springfield?
It's Colonel Lobo Bates Wiggins. I thought you were going to go with the whole Bates.
Chief Wiggins?
No, I'm going to keep my mouth shut because I know you're going to jack me the jaw any minute now.
No. You think I'm so bad? No.
Chief Wiggins?
There is another part of this hotel that we'll get to, but we got to save that for part of one of the other stops. Next stop, North Andes. Yes.
Somebody's a Norm Andes fan, huh?
Yeah, Norman and
Used to be a what?
That's what it was.
Yeah, there used to be.
Used to be, might could be one day again.
Speakeasy and Rock.
So it was Chief Wiggins behind it all along.
Say, shut the hell up. You're going to get me in trouble.
I will not.
You're
I
going to
mean,
get me in trouble.
Springfield. Come on, it adds up.
Yeah, I was gonna make that joke.
Well, I made the joke. Let's see him fuck me up.
Don't. So the original home has an English style where it drops down, and that goes into your tavern. And then your upstairs part was their mercantile business. The family lived here, but not only was he a successful businessman, he was also into politics. He worked with Stephen Douglas. He was on the Democratic chair for 20 years. So he had a lot of political pull in this town. But here's the thing, he wasn't just solely, yes, he was on the Democratic chair, but he also worked in New Lincoln. So he didn't cut everyone out. Politics was a little different back in the day where you could actually get along. Weird, I know. Crazy. Now, here's the part of the story. The family owned it, but after time goes on, it is the oldest resident still remaining in downtown. But it has come many things. It became a morgue. It became a funeral home. It became a speakeasy and rock. Now, of course, when you're talking about prohibition and having its dealings and shadings, you had all kinds of people that would come through and ask little favors, ask others, hey, I need some help with the mob, beds, loans, everything that was considered a vice took place here. The upper rooms was where the women of the night were. It is said that in this far right window, at times, a lady in red can be seen. Now, I don't have a name, but I do know that a prostitute was killed in this building. Truth is, it was probably the first one that I could was dead. Records exactly weren't great back then, especially when you're talking about a speakeasy. You get into the mob, because what's the big part about Springfield? What's north? Yes.
Yep.
Home. So back then, your travel wasn't as great, but they'd use the rivers. Capone even had a hideout and bath element along the river. They were trying to get their liquor down to St. Louis. Now, you got some people that will dispute that and say, well, St. Louis had their own because of the Mississippi. Look, unless you had the luxury of owning a bunch of steam-powered vessels, going up the Mississippi wasn't exactly easy. But if you're in Chicago with the outfit that's making all your moonshine, they can easily travel downriver, hit Springfield, hit St. Louis. So this did become a major hub. Now, this also brings us to the paranormal part of it. Of course, when you have drinking and gambling and deaths, murders, you're going to have paranormal activity. Let's talk about the Spanish flu. That was another big thing. On the side of the building, they actually had a chute. So many Americans were dying during this epidemic that their bodies would go down that chute because they didn't want the rest of society to panic and freak out. So if they could keep it hidden that night, your carriage would pull up, they'd put the bodies down in the chute into the basement, and they would stack the bodies on top of each other from floor to ceiling. That many people would die. True epidemic. Now, one of the spirits that is in here is a little blonde-haired girls named Katie. Katie is very runs around, real friendly. But there's also a darker spirit that supposedly is in here, and it's a man that doesn't like women. We believe that that person is probably from the speakeasy time, keeping the women in check. One of the paranormal investigators by the name of Todd on one day had someone come up and put their hand on his shoulder. Said he could actually feel every individual finger as he was gripping, but he was also calling the spirit out, taunting. It's one of the things you don't do if you're doing paranormal investigating. Taunt. Otherwise, no bitch when you get something that goes against you. I take you on the taunt. wrong with it if you can deal with the aftermath.
You don't go into somebody else's house, act rude to them, expect to start a fight, and all of a sudden expect them to be nice and, hey, here I am.
Now, one of the biggest things, there's an investigator by the name of Larry Wilson. I don't personally know him. I've heard good things. I've heard some bad things. Bad things nothing to do with paranormal. It's just other shit. Now, Larry was doing an investigation here, and he actually called EVPs. That is some great things. We do that. It always gets me excited. The biggest thing that happened to them doing an investigation here that night was that 4 in the morning, they caught a blue light out of the corner of their eye. And when they turned to go look and investigate towards it, there's a jukebox. Well, they chalked it up, maybe the jukebox was just flashing something. Unfortunately, at that time, or it could have been a great coincidence, jukebox starts playing a song, Demons by Walter Records. How ironic the song that was.
I'm out.
So I've actually been trying to get in here for years to do investigations, but it used to be like papers away, then Norbandy's, then it went away, then it come back, and now that Norbandy's is back, hopefully we'll be able to get the chance. Now, who wants to go play the body shop?
I want to play.
I know you. If I can get in there and we can get an investigation, any questions? All right.
When did it become Norbandy? The first time.
The very first time was at 98. 98 or 99. But again, when I looked under the State Journal Register, when it talked about the actual, it had the history, but when it talked about the modern day businesses, it kept it very vague.
So a lot of meetings downstairs. 2008,
I never like to give off any information that I can't, like I said before. Just not that type of person.
You've been
I
in
wanna
here
say,
before?
I remember from 98 was I took off to the Marines. That's why. All right, ready to move? Felt hands on me, they're mostly picking me up to carry me up the stairs. Friendly.
All right, I am at 16%. I know we got like 6 viewers on. Let's see, can we see the body shoot from here? There it is. Right there. See that little red door I'm pointing at right there?
Well, just go this way. That's where I would not have.
All right, I am at 15%. Oh, this guy's Camaro broke down. Use your phone. Sage, can you send a link to get the show to Susan, and I'll just hop over on her phone here? Okay. Did you hear me, Sage?
Yeah. Give me just a second
we'll
here.
get, because I think we got a little ways. We'll get to the next stop, and then I'll just swap. Lots of more in that car. We'll swap phones, and then I'll come back and jump on here because my phone's at 15%, and she's dying fast. So here's a 79. Okay. Oh shit! I almost pulled a Susan. Broke my ankle.
I'll get a ghost after you.
There's the Capitol right there. Did you get the link?
Hold on.
He's in the middle of sending it.
I'm taking a picture of the Capitol.
So if you guys in the chat have any questions, obviously you're welcome to ask. You're welcome to talk during all this. That's about what, the third spot we've seen tonight that I'd like to get into, Norbandy's.
All
right.
Figure it out.
All right, guys. I am going to get off of here, and I'm going to log back on with Susan's phone, so give me just a minute. Let me get out of here. And let me,
All right, he should be coming back in just a second.
Yeah.
Been pretty interesting so far.
I don't
Lots
see
of
how
information.
Wilhite's not freezing his ass off out there with no coat.
He says it's not. Oh, sorry, not too bad out there. It's 72 degrees. So I mean,
My phone says
just
69.
oh, I haven't
But
refreshed mine
but it's
in
that
a
wind.
minute. Well,
That
it's
wind is still
72. Yeah, it's 72 where I live, which isn't there. So I'm 30 miles south.
oh yeah,
And
now it's saying Springfield 70.
so I mean,
But
it's still
that
gonna be.
wind is just when I went out to have a cigarette before the show, shit, I about froze out there.
Yeah, I was out a little bit ago before the show because I had a meeting I had to do, and it was a little chilly with the wind, but now it's back up to, as I said, 72 here and there. So it's just like, it is what it is. But
If it wasn't for that wind, it'd be great out.
yeah. So I can only imagine what they're going through up there. But Wells, he doesn't get cold very easy. He's used to this kind of weather. He's
And
a
after
delivery
the show
driver, so
started, my lights kept flickering.
yeah, I
But I
saw
think
that,
from
and I
the
was like,
wind.
"What's up with your lights, man?" Yeah.
that's a tiny penis one. What the hell are you talking about, man?
He's very sideways. Oh, okay. There he goes.
There we go.
He's gonna figure out how to use her phone, apparently.
Yeah, they can see it.
Hi, Susan.
Hey, be careful. I think that's the sidewalk she broke her ankle on.
Bring me up on full screen real quick. I can't do it from her phone.
Oh, shit. No, that's me. I want Tyler on full screen.
Well, there's a ghost walk.
Tyler full screen. God damn it. I don't want me.
And also, you guys got to be quiet because I don't have my earpiece in, so I can't. I'm on Susan's phone. There we go. All right.
Oh, so now we got to be quiet? Okay.
Yeah. I got a headset. I got the ears in it.
Great loving aspects of the building. It was the historical part of them still. But I guess somebody takes tours out of his own mentions.
And yes, I did walk up to the governor's mansion and shout that. I'll do it again for $20. I'll say whatever you want, as long as it goes to them for us for sure. All right.
Now, the thing that I love about the mansion is it is haunted. There's of course a bunch of stories, but the only one that you really confirm is a cat with Yates. Yates loves to play little tricks. She does nice. She loves to turn off all lights. She definitely loves to do it. Say grounds. So then all of a sudden it's black. The biggest prank that she pulled was a true. Now I heard that he quit, but look it up. It quit. She actually kept him locked into an elevator for hours.
I wasn't governor.
So I don't know if it was just her way of not liking people walking on the mansion. She still walks through. Of course, her husband was Richard Yates. He was the 1861 1865. And it was also Rauner who actually got the bill introduced to change the name from the executive mansion
to the governor's mansion. I don't understand why you actually build something so get recently competitions. That's that on to our beauty. Yeah.
You start to notice a trend. A lot of the ghosts.
Well, see, you're getting into an area where I'm almost wondering if it's more the kids because Rich's secretary.
Yeah. You keep me from tripping.
Oh, that's what they're hitting. It's like a little thing or something. Yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah, go, go. You gotta go to the bathroom? Hey, Jay, she's gonna use a porta potty real quick. We'll catch up. Go ahead. Go ahead. So I know where your next stop is. What? I got a purse. Look at me, I got a parachute. I'm swinging away.
Hey, why don't you have your earpiece in?
Mostly because of the fact that the earpiece is connected to my phone and I cannot get it synced up to her phone, so I gotta reset this headset. I need a new headset also. I need a microphone to do this kind of stuff,
It doesn't plug in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Oh, that's gay.
yeah, well, I should have had all the power banks, charged up, but apparently they didn't charge because one busted on me, and then, just I need new equipment. If we're gonna start doing stuff like this, we need new equipment for sure.
Yeah, you're gay.
So, nice little view. I swear, if somebody comes up to me and asks me how much for one night with you, I'm gonna run. Casey, hey Suze. Casey says you have a stylish purse. All right, now I got beat shit. Hey. All right, here she is. Here's your purse. Take the phone. Talk to him. You need to wash your hands.
There is nothing in there, asshole. Hey guys. I have no idea what to say. You do know that I do not know what to say, Tyler. About what?
All right, let's go catch up. Yeah, I don't have the earpiece hooked up. I got that speaker going loud. All right, let's wait a minute. Hey, Tesla. I found this up. Jaywalking, Jacksonville style. All right, so we got a ways to catch up. So, how's the weather? The weather's pretty good. It's nice out. Casey's saying you look beautiful. She never says that about me.
I just told you today that I thought you were handsome sitting outside.
Nobody ever thinks I'm beautiful. Sage, am I beautiful?
You're going to get your ass face.
Debatable.
No, I can actually hear you guys.
Well, yeah, because they were being quiet because we were being quiet so we don't interrupt Jay's ghost walk. Now they're up here at the Capitol.
Yeah. Tyler doesn't have an earpiece in, so we're not allowed to talk anymore.
Yeah. Y'all in the chat, if you ever get a chance to come up here to Springfield and Wrestling for a Cure is doing a ghost walk, I highly recommend it.
I highly recommend it too.
We always have a great time with these ghost walks, guys.
It's ghost walks, ghost trips, whatever.
Ghost walks, ghost trips, ghost birds sitting on Tyler. Or a bat, yeah. That guy's back there, he's doing some mess. Always getting some head.
If I was a bat, I'd shit on Tyler.
You would shit on me for a Klondike bar. The fuck are you talking about?
I'd do just about anything to you for a Klondike bar.
Is that an offer?
No. Hey, check it out.
I really would like a Klondike bar.
Not really.
It's a library from Ghostbusters. Kind of looks like
Tyler, it. I would really like a Klondike bar.
Yeah, no, you're not shitting on me.
You're dumbass.
Duh.
Hell, I'd piss on you for a Klondike bar.
Too fun. Both deals. Chris is jamming to music. I'm chilling.
I would eat a bunch of Mexican first.
The Mexican version of a Klondike bar?
No.
A Choco Taco?
Choco. It's that Corvette again. Right up here in the statue. All right, guys. Once we get across the street here, we'll have to be completely silent so we don't interrupt Jay. Hang on a minute. Okay, let's go. All right, guys. A little silence. We're going to come up here on tour.
Fuck you.
All right, so here's the story. And something happened, but I don't remember what. So maybe start talking. That's it. I remember now. All right. So we're at our beautiful state capitol. Can anyone tell me? Springfield always been the state capital? No. No. As a matter of fact, you can tell me how many state capitals there actually have been. Now, back in the 1700s, Kaskaskia was actually founded as a city by the French on the river. And since it was a major trading post, it actually became the first capital of North. Now, of course, everything being small back then, it was a small shaft, doesn't work much. But a lot of people felt when Illinois got bigger and more populated, that it needed to have something that represented was a little bit more. So a lot of people started putting into Congress to change it. Well, Congress agreed about 80 miles northeast of that, and went and Vandalia. So Vandalia becomes the second capital, and the second capital building built. Shortly after it was built, burned down. some people say that some of the people in Cascade were still pissed off. Could be. It's weird how people hold grudges. Weird, I know. So they built a third Capitol. Now, the ironic part of it is in 1833, a bill was introduced to actually vote on the next Capitol. Should it be Alton? Should it be Jacksonville? Should it be remain in Vandalia, Peoria, or should it actually be geographically the center of the state? Notice how I didn't say Chicago, because Chicago, up until a certain point, actually was very Chicago. Once it hit that boom on the trade in the Great Lakes, that's when it exploded. So no one even thought about Chicago. Now, if you ask politicians, I think they want it to be, and maybe it'll change that way. I say they can have a capital and they make themselves a damn state. Now, who wants to take a guess on what city was actually voted to be the next capital? Decatur? Out of the towns I named. Nope.
Jacksonville.
Nope.
Oh, good. That town doesn't need to be no fucking
Wasn't
capital.
Springfield either. It wasn't the center. It was. So ironically, they didn't want it in southern Illinois and they wanted to move it, but yet the one that went
Joliet.
is late to the Now, the thing is this was a poll. The politicians never did that. And when they found out that Alton won, well, wait a minute, the margins were too small. So they ignored the vote. So we wasted all that money to do this vote, didn't like the results. Well, wait a minute. Sound familiar? So that comes into 1836. Good old Abe Lincoln and some colleagues said, wait a minute, Springfield's the capital. This is where everybody's at. Me, Douglas, your other top of your representatives in the Senate, we all live here. So they managed to just bypass everything, got it approved, and Springfield became your next capital. The ironic part of this is Vandalia thought that they could convince the state of Vandalia by building a brand new capital. So they did. Vandalia built a brand new capital building. I was like, look, you can stay here. No. February 25th of 1837, Springfield became the new capital. There you go. Vandalia literally got screwed. They built 3 capital buildings, and it didn't matter. Now, this is the tallest non-skyscraper capital. It even beats DC. And ironically, the city has an ordinance where no building can be taller than the capital. Of course, it can in other cities, but not in Springfield. I know. You turn around and you're looking at the window. The window technically is a taller building, but it sits on lower ground. You notice how we're elevated?
Loopholes.
Wow, it's weird how Illinois always has this around. Weird. Now, we talked about the cemetery. It is literally 3 blocks back. As the city grew, and we needed a bigger high school, they figured, well, the capital here, we're growing, and the land's too expensive. But wait a minute, there's a cemetery. That's just dead rock. Bad joke.
Oh, shut up.
Bad
And
joke.
you getting on me for making a bad joke tonight?
So, what does the city do? Well, they relocate the bodies over to Oakland. It's funny how in the past, when bodies were to be removed, it's the same results. Colorado, Denver's got a big park that's on because they didn't move all the bodies. Well, technically, I'm moving a body. If I move an arm, that's a body. I move a leg, that's a body. Well, if you have enough caterpillar, you got the job done, you got paid, you didn't do the work. So some bodies are still buried underneath Springfield High School.
Found some back in the 90s, didn't they, when they were doing an add-on or something?
Springfield High School is actually very active. They go through a lot of channels. They go through a lot of lunch ladies. I always thought that Springfield should not make fun of it, but kind of honor that mistake. Instead of being the Senators, which we all know is crooked anyway, why not be the Springfield Steelers?
That's true.
I put in the writing. If I make president, I will change.
Springfield Phantoms?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? So the fact that the only building, capital buildings that beat this is Louisiana and Nebraska. And that's because they moved away from the traditional dome-like building capitals and went with skyscrapers. Then the Louisiana capital. Jesus. I think they were trying to make up for something. Because if you honestly look at it, it looks like a big shack.
Oh, you mean like that one building over there?
Anyone got any questions?
Yeah, they found some back in like the 90s or so. I think they did, didn't they?
Yeah. All right. I will forewarn you, the next stop that we are making, we have 2 stops left. The next one we're going to, this is going to be disturbing. And if it doesn't piss you off, there's something wrong with this. We are getting into the dark history of Springfield.
The dark history of Springfield. Don't you just put that? She said, I said the dark history of Springfield. Would love to get in that high school, just investigate it. Would love to. All right, so I'm a little farther away, so I'm pretty sure you guys can start talking now again.
All right.
Got 2 more stops left, and then we'll be done here, and you guys can just end the show. To everybody watching, Will Height gave us a go-ahead to film the entire Ghost Walk, but I highly recommend you guys come out here and experience this shit. I know the weather, all the weather people were saying it's supposed to be raining, but honestly, it's fucking beautiful out. And I'm sweating like Mary Todd at the White House. Anyways, but yeah, I highly recommend next time they do this, which I think Jay's planning one for either this time next year or spring, he said. Definitely come along on this one. It's beautiful. It's great. It's awesome. A lot of history here. Definitely check it out.
I thought he said there was another one in October.
This is, well, this, I think, I don't know. I'll have to ask him when we get done here.
But I think some girl was hosting it or something.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I might be wrong, but I thought that's what he said.
I know there's a lot of...
Brianna's going to host the next one.
Oh, Brianna is hosting the next one?
I believe so. And I went on one before.
Yeah, you went to the one we were last year.
Yeah, and it was a lot colder then.
Yeah, it is. I'm just sweating like crazy here.
But it was amazing, and it's the same thing we covered last time.
It's a great time, yeah. I still can't go to the fact we're at the end and the light got kicked off.
Yeah, that's weird. That was definitely weird.
Yeah, nobody was on that light switch.
The darker history I think you guys are getting ready to go to, I think is going to be about the race riots and shit. Is what you guys are getting ready to go cover, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's the one we're covering next. So,
and that's very interesting history.
Yes, that is. So for anybody who wants to come along on these, we'll keep you guys posted. Obviously, it's the Halloween season. Everybody's getting in the mood for it. But as everybody knows,
favorite time of year.
As everybody knows, as we get closer to Halloween, the colder the nights get. So I know Casey, she's in the chat room. She's asked about ghost adventures and ghost hunting and all that shit. So if you're ever in the area, you got to come down and see one of these. They're very good. And so far, I gotta say, Jason's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. And then I think after this, we're going to the Vinegar Hill Mall to walk around there for a little bit, but chances are I won't be able to find in there.
Yeah, last time we didn't get to go inside, so this time you guys actually get to go inside, so that should be cool.
Yeah, so I'm not sure I'll be able to broadcast in there because that's like the meat and potatoes, I think, of this ghost walk here.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised, you know, we haven't really had a hitch. You know, Susan ain't fell. Now I said something, she's gonna fall. Oh, no, she made it. No bird shit on me.
That's what I was hoping for.
I think we had a crackhead and a meth head arguing, but I'm not sure. So, but yeah, definitely come to these things, guys. I mean, it's definitely a great way to get you in the Halloween spirit. And it's going to a good cause. It's going to St. Jude's. So,
yeah.
Is that a fire? Hey, that was a freaking Aspire. It aspires to be a car. Let's see. Casey says she's back. She want to make a sandwich. Yeah, but next time we'll have better equipment too, because I think last year we did the whole ghost walk. The only thing that died on me was my headset. And that was on another show. But next time we do this, we'll definitely have much better equipment and everything. So I'm not kidding. If you guys are ever up for it, these are definitely worth it. You get a lot of history. Like Jay just taught me something there. I had no idea Jacksonville was almost the capital of Illinois.
Yeah, I'm looking at getting a pair of they're like mini microphones that are Bluetooth to your phone or tablet for things like.
Honestly, Bubba, I tried listening, but I can't hear you because the wind is picking up like hell. Alright, I think we're at our next stop, so gentlemen, be quiet. Let's let Jay take it away.
Yeah, I see the brick road, so you're there.
This was here at the time, 1908. One of the darkest, if not the darkest moment of spring. Up to that point, you have some people in the past, Reese, who said that they blamed it on a powder keg that was built. The truth is, it wasn't a powder keg. It was just because you hated someone because of the color of the names. 1907 was called the Panic 1907. It was like a recession. You had your economic downturn. Springfield, believe it or not, was actually kind of shit. How? Speakeasies, liquor stores. Money was flowing, and actually Springfield was okay. So the state they tried to bury the past, but it came out. Back on July 5th, actually it's 12:45 a.m. So Springfield was celebrating. The Ballard home was a 16-year-old girl laying in her bed. She woke up in the church of the city. Of course, she freaks out and screams. Real name was Flirt. Comes in. Now, of course, this is a dad. What are you going to do if your 16-year-old daughter is screaming someone's in her room? You're going to jump up and you're going to go in there. As he's going in there, this individual runs outside. He gets chased. A fight takes place. This individual has a knife and cuts him up deep to the bone. Gets to a point where they're scuffling over this knife. He was able to stab through his chest. His two older sons, who were at home, woke up from their drunken slumber. They come down and they find that their dad is walking back to the porch. They go to help him up. Dad looks across the street. He tells the sons, "Go get that man. That's the man." Sons take after and go after him. Don't catch him. Now, people will tell you that the man just had a head start. A few hours later, 4 women who were walking near Reservoir Park, which is actually Lanford High School now, they ended up finding a man by the name of Joe Davis sleeping off a massive pancake, passed out over by the watch factory, famous Springfield watch factory. Now, of course, there was the news that had already gotten out about what happened. So they don't know if this is the man or not. 2 of the women stay there. The other 2 go try to find the phone. Now, as they're getting close to the public phone, because, we used to have these things called pay phones. Well, before then, they were just phones. When they get close, which is only a few blocks away from the Ballard home, the sons hear these women screaming out. And they go over and they find Joe passed out. He's so passed out that he doesn't wake up to this whole ordeal. And they go up to him, they find a piece of wood and start beating the shit out of him. He's unconscious and they're just beating him. He starts to come to, they continue on, but at that point, they're just thinking about their dad who's at the hospital, don't know if he's going to make it. They grab a piece of rope that they find, they tie it to his neck, and drag him a block because they're going to hang him. Now, this part of the story, it's going to sound heartless, but luckily 3 cops, because they actually did patrol. They were constantly out walking. Heard the commotion and came over and they saved Joe. How do they do it? They arrested him over speculation. He was beat so bad and so swollen that they had to wait for the swelling to go down to even ask him questions. But of course, they're going over and they're looking at his coat. They notice there's a tear in it. Hey, there's blood on it. That must be from the fight. You beat the man unconscious. We didn't have testing kits back then that could test the blood to see what it is. But none of that came to register. All they thought was this is blood. It's got to be Cozy. So he gets arrested. Now here's the ironic part of it is he is such a model prisoner that they find out that he was they remember who he was. He was so good of a prisoner that they actually let him out of jail before this event took place because he was going to go and get bread, syrup, and other goods from the other prisoners. They gave him money to do this, and only 3%. He was a trustee. The only thing that Joe ever admitted to his sentence was he was an alcoholic. He couldn't handle it. Now, he would get to the point of being blackout drunk. He would not remember what he did. When asked about the crime, he said, I don't remember if I did this. My sin in life. So it gets to the point when he's basically just branded an evildoer and he's going to die. He stops talking. Are you guilty or not guilty? He doesn't say it. It kind of delays the process. Well, we skip ahead to August and we get to another situation. Now, in August, because Ballard ended up succumbing to his wounds that next morning, so he was being charged for murder. Lost my card. In August, a woman on North 9th, I think, ends up claiming Mabel Helmet that an intruder cut the back went inside. She thought it was her husband's work on street. Rapes her in the garden. And she realized when she went there and asked the guy, he said, jump. She manages to get away, and of course, the manhunt goes to the pool. Still, cops are still remembering what just took place less than a month ago. You have citizens that are up in arms, and this happened on Thursday. Well, Friday, the next day, they see a group of blacks working on a house. And as they're working on that house, they think, you know what? One of the people person that did it's got to be in that thing. So they grab the men, change their clothes, and they take them to the woman's house. Mabel, 26-year-old woman, she's looking, and she goes through all the men except for one, George Richardson. And she says, that's the man. Now, of course, George is up on. He's like, wait a minute, I didn't do nothing. He had the respect of his neighbors. He lived in a actual white neighborhood. He was a hardwood. He grew up in Springfield, and he had a great reputation. Well, it didn't matter. They're looking at his clothes, and again, found blood. Clothes back then isn't like you made clothes and you kept them for a while. So what's going to happen over time? You're going to get what is blood? It's so of course there's probably blood on there. He works in construction. He swears to him, look, Thursday when I got off work, I got home around 6 o'clock. I ate my dinner and then I was on my porch until about 8:30 smoking. I was there with my wife. My white neighbors can attest that I've been home. And he had witnesses. Didn't matter. She swore up and down that that was him. She even had the nerve to tell Richardson that, hey, I think you're the guy that did it. Now you have to prove that you're not. But she had made a comment to somebody else that she might not be entirely for sure because to her, all blacks were. That was her damn comment. So what does this do? The mob ends up hearing that she 100% positively identified her attack. The mob gets up and roars. They're pissed off, and that was the only thing they needed. This group starts to mass in front of the police. About 3,000 people, white men. Now, the leader of the National Guard at that time heard about it. He goes over there to try to convince the police chief, Warner, that, hey, you got to disperse it because this is a problem. No, I'm not worried about it. We're good. We got it under control. You have 3,000 men out there wanting to kill these guys. They're yelling to hang. Police chief goes, no, don't worry. I got a plan. Now, believe it or not, he actually did have a plan. He had gotten the fire department to respond to a false alarm. And while the crowd is paying attention to what's going over here, they sneak into that and end up a businessman, a successful businessman, one of the few vehicles in the town. And escorted by other cops, they managed to go up to Bloomington. From Bloomington, they put them on the train to take them to New York because they were worried that the mob would find out about the traffic. Well, crowd found out about this. They're fucking pissed. Luke comes back. The crowd's fired up. They were told this first they did, but they didn't go home. They went and drank. At this time, we had two places in Illinois that was wet. Obviously, Springfield being one of them. When the crowd goes over to this restaurant, they're fired up, and he's telling them, hey, they're gone. This is just the restaurant. Go home. Well, they were pissed off at the back. Like Leland's Hotel. There's a woman by the name of she actually used to run a small hotel, the Howard Hotel. It wasn't a hotel, it was a brothel. Now, she was not good with men, and she egged this crowd on, which has now grown to 5,000 people. And she had gotten this mob to attack. He fired a warning shot with his shotgun, but shooting a shotgun at a crowd of 5,000 people, you're just going to piss them off. They bum rushed and ripped his place apart. He was able to back up and retreat into his building, and in another area, he had a hole in the brick wall, and he escaped. His restaurant. They looted all his alcohol. Imagine that. That's the first thing they do. They started stealing silverware and anything else that they wanted. Broke open the cash register, took the change, then set that place on fire. The flames got so high, it was as high as a third story building. Well, the crowd wasn't done. They went on and started just ransacking more. Unfortunately, they come across a guy by the name of Scott Martin. Scott was a barber at a barbershop. He catered to white clientele. He had actually cut hair for members of the Lincoln family. Well, when they got to his house and him being successful in catering to white clientele, they wanted him. Of course, he's standing up to protect his family. He's got a gun. And he fires a warning shot. Again, against a mob like that, probably the worst thing to do. They beat him and pulled him to his barbershop. And they hung him in the tree across the road. Not only did they hang this man and kill him, they filled his body full of 30 bullets. They stripped his clothes, slashed him up, and kids were even seen pushing, swinging his body. Well, of course, over in that area, you have the Badlands. The mob ends up that way all the time. The National Guard. The general was telling the police chief, you gotta stop this. Hey, you gotta put your cars here in the jail because they can't take it over. And you gotta protect the armory. You got plenty of militiamen. Why ain't you putting them out? They still arguing against it. Don't shoot at them. It was finally a compromise. General said, hey, look, here's the deal. I'll give you the warning shot. We'll shoot over their head. If they don't stop, you let us shoot them. Deal, no problem. Well, first volley goes. The crowd's still there. They're just thinking it's every other warning shot. This time he orders them to shoot low. Damn police chief Warner still ain't listening. He actually yells out the orders to shoot high. The militiamen are torn. Some of them shoot high. I don't wish death upon anyone, but I'm glad that some of them listened to shot low. And they killed a few of the rioters. All of a sudden, all of your big bad men took off. And they were able to suddenly stop that night. But how many? There's even reports that some of them, even when they ran out of the burning home, they were thrown right back. Jesus Christ. So everything kind of calms down. Most of them were drunk. They end up passing out. We get to the next day. News is traveling. It's not like it used to be in 1908. You had telegraph, you had radio, you had some word that gets out. What do people do? Well, you have a new mob that forms. It goes back to the jail. And it's looking like they get told to disperse. And they actually break up the multiple groups. One group comes in this area, the William Dunn. Now, this man was a shoemaker. He was in real estate. He was 80 years old, and he had lived in Springfield for over 60 years. There's a problem. He's married to a white Irishman. He has kids that are mixed. And he was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. They blame him for the population of blacks in Springfield. They show up at his home. Now, at that time, this was a upscale neighborhood. And when they banging on his door asking if any blacks are in there, he tells them no, only whites. Well, of course they know. He's made money off of them. He would help the blacks who were newly freed on the Underground Railroad and get them jobs and labor. He actually made money off of it. Well, the crowd got irritated, ended up rushing into his home. His family was able to rush out, but him being 80 years old with bad arthritis, he can't get away. He runs and hides under a bed. They pull him out. They pull him out. He's bleeding. I've made some of your shit. Don't make this. And hung him to a tree on this very street. Now, it was a young tree, so his feet, his toes were able to still touch. So, as he's hanging, that wire around his throat a few times, once around his face, and again around his shoulder. So, as he's hanging, he stayed alive as he was breathing in the air hole. It wasn't a 10-year. It was a guy by the name of Abraham Rainey. Yeah. The guy ends up, I'll get to his story a little bit. The crowd goes on and talks about there was another hotel, these were higher rent, but they catered to where they also had black clientele. The mob would go into these hotels and yank them out. That other part of the story I was telling you about the legal, they burned down now because they gave them homes. Before they could finish off, Donnie, militiamen show up. They cut them down. A general who was actually their surgeon was able to snatch his throat closed, but they couldn't remove all the wires. Some of them got dead. They were able to get the riot to stop when they started really attacking the mob and stopped playing nice. Here's the whole bad thing in that situation. That man who held him, she wasn't raped. The way that they found out that Richardson was innocent and dropped the charges against him is when the doctor did his physical examination of him. Found out he did not have a sexually transmitted infection. Mabel did. So where did she get it? Well, here's the thing. After this riot took place, she tried to say that Scott Burton, the other guy who was lynched, was his son. It wasn't Richardson, who's a big, tall, muscular guy. It was a short, stocky guy. Burton had no sense. They confronted her with this fact. She finally came forward. She was never raped at all. She had a lover. She was having an affair with a white guy. That's where she caught her STI. Her husband found out about it, beat her. Well, she can't go into society and tell people what happened. I didn't cheat on my husband. My husband didn't beat me. So she come up with the story of a black guy raped. For 2 days, the city burned. Multiple people died, over 100. All because of a woman having an affair and blaming somebody of an opposite. Now, when it comes to poor Joe, Joe was hung. There was no way that they had enough evidence to prove that he was innocent, or did they? So many people came and were witnesses to Joe. Hey, that night that it happened, he come to the saloon after he was getting the goods for the other inmates. He was drunk. He was fall down drunk. Even over the son of Host, who chased him, said there's no way that man was drunk because I am a healthy mid-20 guy and athletic. and I couldn't. What does that tell you? If Joe is dropped down drunk, and this person was able to run normal and get away with it, it's not the same person. Didn't matter. Joe, they said they got a confession from him, and his confession was, I read it. It's not a confession. He was talking about his only sin, and that was loving whiskey. He said he didn't know if he did it or not. He just know that he drank. And the last thing he recalls was going and playing the piano to get more drunk, to get more money to drink at a black saloon. That was his only commitment. But they used that as a confession. They hung him. This was that sad reality. But I was always ready to fight it again, even at that time. How can you find a life? NAACP. And if it makes you feel a little better, on the criminal charges of starting attacking my mom. Put up her bill. Got the money to go arrest her. She said, all right, let me go change. She went to our store. Oh. Changed the clothes, came out, and told them I'm ready to go. By the time they took the trip to the jail and walked through the front door, she dropped dead. I feel a little bit better. Still doesn't make up for that. Now, when it comes to Mabel and her husband, who actually got made a special investigator for the situation and knew what the story was. Well, they couldn't deal with the shame, and they moved up to Chicago. The ridicule and shame still kept on. Mabel ended up committing suicide. It's funny how they couldn't handle it. They took themselves out. This is one of, then you come back to that Abraham Raymond. He was brought up on charges of murder. He literally thought with the witnesses there, he was going to be tried. He was going to be sentenced. He didn't. He actually got off. Of course, what's he do? He hightails it and goes to live with his sister in Boston. This asshole gets away. Got married, had kids, and lived out his day. All started because they said it was a powder keg from the Great Panic. Nah, like you said earlier, just racist assholes. Springfield and the state actually even tried to blame those that got lynched for getting you fired at the crowd. If my family's in my home, I will defend them with every bullet that I got left. I don't blame them. The only thing I blame them is they didn't actually shoot them. They tried to hide it. Building in the speed rail corridor, they found some of the burned down houses in the Badlands, and they're making a national monument. People always ask, well, we got to tear down these statues. We got to forget the history. No. It's bad history, and it's terrible what happened. But thou who forgets their history is destined to make the same mistakes. And that shit's still happening. Because no one wants to own up. Like I said, this I don't like when people and I promise you the next one a little bit like this. But in these streets, they always say about history of the streets, walls, bricks, everything you talk. But this road here, right here, we tell you. Like enough to wonder why we Let's go.
What's up? Oh, you're fine. I'm just wanting to go so I can talk to the show. So now we're moving on, I believe, to the last stop, perhaps. What do you guys think of all that?
Well, from what we could actually hear of it,
Yeah, the wind's picking up
sounded
really
good.
hard.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could figure out a way to block some of that, but
Yeah.
you suck.
Well, I think we're. No, the wind's still coming around this way. That wind is really hard.
Yeah, if only you could figure out a way to put your hands around it or something.
I'll try that next time, see if that works. But
I think you're going indoors now.
yeah, how many people in the chat room knew about that there was a race riot in Springfield, Illinois?
Well, there's only 4 people in the chat, and none of them are really talking.
And probably everyone. It's a very well known fact.
But see, I
about the
didn't
race
know
riot.
about it. I didn't know
Well,
about it last year.
Whenever we learned about it last year, that was the most information I had got.
Oh, Jay here just dropped everything. He dropped names, he dropped people, he dropped a small documentary.
Yeah, that was more information than we got last year, actually.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just saying that it's well known in Springfield about that there were race riots in 1908.
Yep, and now they are building. It's like Jay said. Now they are building monuments for the riot. So
yeah, more came out after they started doing those overpasses, and they found the burnout houses and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
You're from here, come on. I was here when it was like pizza machine. Okay. Like that. Yeah, we were. WM's was the market. Now, back in the very early 1800s, this place was being built for the expansion of a company called Now, it had expanded so much that when they built this place, it was 26,000 square feet. And it's considered the largest single floor laundry facility outside of Chicago. They filtered their water through sand, sea sand. And it was reported to be crystal clear and soft as rainwater. Now, one of the luxuries that they had when this was built and completed in 1908 is in the basement. They had a cool big dining room, dressing room, shower, and bath. And it was free for their employees. An actual company that took care of its workers. Now, at that time frame, that's a luxury. Plumbing, well, you saw Lincoln's home, you had an outhouse out back. Indoor plumbing wasn't a everyday house luxury that we have today. So to have a bath, shower, have a dressing room, and then all that your stuff working here. And at the height of their business, employed 200 people. It's a great gig for them. Now, in 1927, Edward sold his share to Chapman. And shortly after, you had F.W. Means Towel and Uniform that bought the building. And basic bitch lights. Now, when it got turned over to Towel and Uniform, they turned it into Vinegar Hill Mall. Now, at that time, you talked about the pizza machine. That was just one of the businesses that came and went. They also tried to brew their own beer years before that. But Miller and Bush told them, if you want to sell our products, you can't make your own. Corporate greed, you got to love it. So they shut it down. I thought it was neat that they were brewing it. Matter of fact, I used to work right inside Downtown Wireless sold prime code phones, fresh out of the damn Marines. There used to be a cyber cafe here, I believe it was called Java Dog or something like that. The Spot, the Atrium, dance clubs. What was the other deal that was in here?
Corn King.
Corn King was much later. They used to do boxing, amateur. If you wanted to box someone, it was one of the clubs. I think it was the Spot that put it But over the years, businesses have come and gone. And then it looked like this was closed up and was going to collapse. Lucky for us, the Kahns family, seeing the historical value in it, bought the building. And they restored it, brought it back to life. And now you got William Van Coffee that's in what used to be Java Dog. And then you also have Trish and Mary's. Now more and more things are getting added into it. You're looking at doing restaurants. But the old part that was the brewery is now making their own wine. So it's funny how history comes back around. I love that like I said earlier, the building's being brought back to life instead of letting it go and make your own history. The Kahns family, the city of Springfield owes them a huge debt of gratitude for what they've done. Otherwise, all this history would just be lost. Now, at this time, our tour is done. We are more than welcome to walk in and take a look at the interior. But this building has been gutted, and over the times, some of the dark areas that actually used to run some of that liquor. Used to be part of the bootleg operation. And if I get my way, we'll be able to do a paranormal investigation after hours. Right. Donnie B's Funny Bone was in here at one time. Now, I do know that there's a ghost that likes to, I don't know if it's perverted. I'm not saying it is, but it always seems to mess with people in the bathroom. So, if you need to go in, use the restroom, go inside. If you want to just look around at the historical facts of it, we can do so. But after this, we'll walk back to the inn, and that'll conclude the tour. I'm sorry that I had to stop and look at cards. Our normal person that does it had to back out. But I promise you, I did bust my ass trying to grab everything I could. Let's go inside. Any questions?
You're supposed to be watching for me. Stupid fuck.
She about busted her shit.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna make it a ghost. I'm gonna kill him because I almost fell.
All right, now we're going inside the Vineyardville Mall for a little bit. We're gonna look around and see what's in there.
She's got 2 feet and a heartbeat and 2 eyes, and she can't watch where she's walking. What the fuck?
You heard that?
You are supposed to be paying attention, not making me have the phone so that I trip and fall.
Hey, yo, this telephone booth. It's Trisha Mary's. We'll
Go in there and see if you don't change into Superman.
All right, guys, this is where the tour is going to end. We're going to walk around here in Vinegar Hill Mall, and then the tour is over. We're going to head back. So, why don't you walk around with me and the clue? I'm going to say goodbye to the show. I'm going to log off, okay? I'll bring your phone back here in a minute. So, I will. So, and they're watching some kind of alien show and they're drinking. You can bring me off the full screen there real quick. And I'll give. Nah, let's see. How do I do this with her phone? Camera. There we are. There we are. All right. So what do you guys think?
It was good.
I think Jay did a great job.
Yeah, it was really good.
Did a
I
very
think
good
there would
job.
have been more people if it wasn't on the same night as the Mother Road Festival Parade.
I think with the combination of the Route 66 and the weather, every weatherman was saying, oh, it's going to get bad, going to get bad, going to get bad. And obviously it didn't. It's just windy. I think that's a combination. But I think considering all things going on, Jay did a great job, personally.
Yes.
Yeah. The wind was the biggest issue because we couldn't hear a lot of what he was saying.
Yes. So obviously, that's on our fault because we didn't have the right equipment to.
Well, that's your fault. You didn't have the right equipment.
Keep the wind out. We'll try and fix that next time. So.
But yeah, it was cool.
Very cool. And all the proceeds that are made from this event go to St. G's. That money is over there. So I think the big thing about it, you notice there's a lot more detailed facts. I'm not bashing Brianna. Brianna does a great job all the time. But I would say Jay was there definitely much more informative than
He went through and did a lot more research, I think, on this.
Yes, he did.
And the thing is there might be more information out now than there was last year.
I think considering the race riot and how they are finally addressing that, because see, last year when I learned about that, it was swept under the rug. Like nobody wanted to talk about it. I didn't even learn about it until last year.
Yeah.
They're building a monument. They're building a memorial for the victims.
There
I
used
think
to
more
be
information will come out about that. And
there
there'll be
used
more
to
people.
be a monument there right across from the Capitol building, and then it was torn down for some reason, and that's why they're doing a new one.
Huh.
That monument wasn't torn down. It was moved over to the museum
Oh,
because they have their own little museum. But now there's going to be a bigger monument also made.
Yeah, because I
yeah.
think Biden actually, and I will give Biden props on it, he actually gave the state of Illinois some money to build the monument, the memorial. So that was announced back in July. Was it July when that was announced?
Oh, fuck. I don't know.
I think
can't
it was
remember.
July. So, but anyways, guys, this is where the tour ends. Guys, if the next time we have a tour like this, you got to come. This it's a very good tour. It's very well done. They put on a great show all the time. And this is just one of the many few events they've got planned. I know a few things are coming down the pipeline, and I know I'm working on a few things. It's definitely worth it. So next time, weather be damned, come join us. It's a great time.
Yeah.
Next time we'll have
people should get out there and do it.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll be back on our normal schedule Wednesday, back to our normal show schedule. I'm going to log off here because I got to get Susan back her phone, and I'm going to turn it over to Sage and Bubba to end the show and see you guys out. So you guys have a great weekend. Take her easy, and if you're watching from the south and you've been affected by that hurricane, we hope you guys made it through that okay, and we hope you guys are all right. So you guys take her easy. Sage,
Well, I
Bubba.
will say too that Ellen's birthday is Monday, so I think we're going out with her for her and her family on Sunday night to have dinner.
Cool. So, all right, guys. I will catch you all later. Have a good one. I'll leave it to Sage and Bubba. See you out. We'll see you guys on the next episode of the Best Damn Podcast on Wednesday. See you guys.
See ya.
All right. See ya. All right. I got a few things to cover here real quick before we get off the air.
All right.
PWA's got a show tomorrow night in Beerstown called Beerstown Beatdown. They've had a few changes to their matches. So I want to say that, card subject to change as always. Pinfall Wrestling. They've got a new tag team coming in. I'm guessing this is a tag team, but it's called Shield Wall. They're making their PWA debut, and it's Fenrir Ragnarok and Harley Fairfax. Fairfax is coming in. Sorry, I didn't mean to say Fox. But they're definitely some Viking looking sons of bitches. Looks pretty interesting. Can't wait to see that. You also have the first time in Beerstown, and as seen in ROH, PWG, and what is that other one? Oh yeah, New Japan Pro. One of my buddies, the Ronin, Michael Elgin, will be there in action. And it looks like you got a lot of other people that are going to be there too. So you got AOU, you've got Robert Black, you got Moondog, IGA Sweet.
Moondog's a
Jeez.
good favorite.
Yeah, you got all sorts of stuff. That's Pinfall Wrestling tomorrow live, September 28th in Beardstown for Beardstown Beatdown, and that I believe starts at 6:30 tomorrow night. So remember, card subject change as always. Get out there, and it's going to be good stuff. It looks like All Eyes on Us is going against another group I haven't quite heard of, Youth Gone Wild. So yeah, this is definitely going to be some good shit.
Ellen really
Definitely,
likes All Eyes on Us.
Definitely get out there and check those that card out. It's going to be good stuff. And we'll try to keep you posted if there's any other things that change, and let you guys know tomorrow during the day. So and go to Pinfall Wrestling. I think it's pinfallwrestling.com, and see if there's any other changes to the card or anything like that. But get out there to Beerstown tomorrow. They have a big festival, and it should be a lot of fun and a lot of good action. And looks like the weather's going to be pretty good too. So get out there and check that out.
Or look up
Other than that,
or Pinfall Wrestling on Facebook also for possible changes. Or
yeah, definitely do that. Other than that, I don't think we have anything else for tonight. So with that, let's get to some final thoughts, since we're running late. Bubba, what you got, buddy?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, there's some great Springfield history we went through tonight, and next time they have one, as I said, I believe it's in October. Check it out. It's worth your time. If I could get out there and do the walking, I sure as hell would do it.
Let's get you a power chair and let you just roar right through it.
And anyone that wants to do that traveling to Beardstown, go check out PWA.
Okay. Should be a good time, guys. Let's see here. Final thoughts. It was a good show tonight. A little different from what we normally do on a Friday. Got to see the whole adventure out there with the Wrestling for Cure Ghost Walk.
Yeah,
it was a little different.
Right.
It was a little windy. Sorry about that. Couldn't hear the whole thing, but still a good time. Learned a lot of history, as Bubba was saying, and it was very entertaining, and we got to learn a lot of stuff. I went on it last year, and it was very good. I didn't get to go, like, we started out at the end where they were at, but we didn't really go inside last year. So seeing the inside this year was pretty cool. I'm kind of jealous that Tyler was eating the cheese, because I'm a cheese guy. I love cheese too. So knowing the facts about that end was really cool to hear about. Although we did get to know a little bit of that last year, but being inside, I definitely missed out on that one. The rest of the walk I did get to do last year, except last year we also didn't get to go inside their last stop, where they were going inside and they're getting alcohol. So yeah, I'm missing out on that too. Other than that, it was a great experience. I'm glad they're doing it. Glad I'm not doing it, because I don't like cold weather, but I guess it wasn't that cold up there, so I'm kind of upset that I missed out. But at the same time, it is what it is. Thank you again for joining us tonight. Always awesome having you guys here. Definitely go check out PWA or PW tomorrow in Beerstown Beatdown. Should be a good show. They did have a few changes. Don't worry, that always happens in pro wrestling. It is what it is. It just
Can't
happens.
change when things happen. You know, I mean, sometimes it's travel things that happen, injuries, all kinds of stuff that can change that. So
Absolutely. But it's still going to be a hell of a show. I can promise you that. They always put on good shows. Other than that, tune in Wednesday. We're going to be right back here in the saddle again. So come back and see us Wednesday. And that's pretty much all we got. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday.
All tuned in to watch this, and I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed it. It's something different. We don't always do this, and we got
and
surprised.
remember, go ahead.
We did get surprised with the whole ghost walk instead of just the first hour of it, like we thought we were getting. So.
Yeah, and not only that, but somehow the lights went out at the end, which was pretty crazy. While they were coming down the steps and getting ready to leave out of there.
Yeah.
Somehow the lights got shut out on them, and that was pretty weird.
Whether that was paranormal or due to the wind, who knows?
Yeah,
but
your lights were flickering on you the whole night, and you thought it was maybe because of the wind too. So that was weird. But it is what it is, and things happen we can't explain every day, and that's just the way it is. But once again, thanks you. I thank you. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you here on Wednesday, same podcast time, same podcast channel. So yeah, we'll see you guys. Thank you again. And that's it. So later. As soon as I can click the fucking button.